Reinvention is the key to overcome new challenges and keep growing. Welcome to South Summit 2020. A new networking platform with a revolutionary live TV format to access and connect from any device, anytime, and anywhere. Join South Summit 2020 and multiply your business opportunities.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to South Summit 2020. Welcome back. This is the third day of our conference. My name is Alex Barrera, and I'm going to be your host for the Fintech and Insurtech track. It is my pleasure spending this track with you. And without further ado, I want to give you some more details of what's going to go through our track today. So first of all, remember that even though we are recording this in Spain, we are connected with people all over the world, San Francisco, all the way from North America, South America, Africa, Europe, and Asia. And also, please do remember that we are showing several tracks at the same time, so you can also check the other parallel tracks like consumer trends or travel and tourism. Also remember, we have this afternoon our prime time with amazing speakers like Carlos Torres, who is the chairman of Vvva Bank, Marcelo Clor, the CEO of SoftBank, Catherine Coleman, retired NASA astronaut, and last but not least, our beloved Quique Sarasola from Roommate Hotels. And to give you an introduction of what we're going to be seeing during this track, allow me to run through the different blocks we're going to touch. So we're going to have a first block talking about the use of AI in the financial services, a second block about innovation within the financial industry, third block of blockchain, fourth block on payments, and last but not least, we will be talking about the wonderful and incredible space of Insurtech. And before we start, I want to thank our co-hosts for this track, starting with Banco Sabadell, who has an extensive track record of supporting innovation and startups. He's been a partner with South Summit in the very, very early days, so thank you very much for doing that. Also, Mutua Madrileña, who's it's the top insurance company in Spain, with a deeply entrepreneurial spirit, and have always been supporting their clients through user-centric, innovative solutions. And last but not least, our third co-host of the track is Vvva Bank, who's a bank committed to the open innovation model. They've been collaborating and working with a lot of the people in the fintech ecosystem, including the promotion of partnerships and the support and growth of innovative startups. So I'm just going to kick it in with our first guest of the track. So please welcome on our stage Luca Bocco, partner at Axel, and Christian Hecker, CEO of Trade Republic. Thank you so much for being here, guys.
Thank you for having us, and pleased to be here today. I think it will be great for the audience to learn more about Trade Republic and the amazing plans the company have for launching across Europe. So I'm pleased to introduce here one of the two co-founders, Thomas, which is leading all the product and tech of this company. Thomas, shall you introduce yourself, and then maybe I can ask you a couple of questions.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for the introduction. So I'll give a few words on Trade Republic and myself, and basically the vision that we have for the company and what we want to build with it across Europe. So a few words on myself. I'm Thomas, founded Trade Republic with Christian and Marco about 5 years ago, and responsible, as Luca mentioned, for the product and engineering team. Coming from a physics background, moving into banking and IT, I was always interested in automating as much as possible in this banking and brokerage space. And this is also what I think one of the advantages of Trade Republic is. We are building a mobile-first investment platform for everyone to be able to participate and invest into capital markets. And we're doing this by building a new technology and by building a new bank based on automated processes and, yeah, a product that everyone can understand and enjoy.
Yeah, which sounds very simple, but in fact is not. Thomas, I think will be great to learn more. how you guys have been really doing this, because you said you founded 5 years ago, but you launched right 1 year ago. So how difficult it is to build from the ground up an investment platform and getting all the required licenses and processes?
Yeah. So when we started, we looked at the market of investing and brokerage and tried to figure out why it's so expensive and why there are so many hurdles for people to invest into the capital markets. And we basically found out the product universe of current banks and brokers is just very broad. There is a lot of investment products that people don't need, but that are offered. And we wanted to really focus on what 95% of the customers need and what can be a product for the broader public. And we also saw that the banks are still running on their old IT systems, and decided to build something up from scratch to remove all these historically grown complexity of a bank and build something on the green field. But Luca, as you mentioned, building this from the start is not the only thing. You also require quite some licensing, especially in Europe and in Germany, where we're building this. So really the first 2.5 years of the company were defining the processes, writing our license application, really thinking about how can the business model, how can the tech work to support this product. But we're glad to have been on this process, because now we're of course in a very good position of using everything that we have built up so far to really have a product that is very quickly or that we can very quickly adapt, that we can grow, and that doesn't depend on any external parties.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously very important, because it gives you flexibility and freedom to launch very quickly new products that consumer love. And maybe speaking of this, what do you think has been the secret sauce element for your successful launch in your home country in Germany, which has been somehow a story of success in roughly 12 months since your launch as of now?
I think it has two parts. First of all, we have a real focus on our customers. So whatever we build into our product, be it how the product is designed, how easy it is being used, what kind of features we build in, we always try to see what do our customers and what do our users really need and really want. So we're listening to them through surveys, through reviews. And on the second part, besides, of course, building a product that our customers love, we focus on also building a premium product. So from the beginning, Trade Republic focused on having its own banking license, having insurance for the customer of their deposits, of their stocks, and also taking care of the taxation and taking care of everything that comes around when you're investing into the capital markets. So not building just a small MVP product, but really offering something where you can put your life savings on and where you can build your wealth upon.
Yeah, and given your focus on product and engineering, Thomas, which are the features that you're most excited about that you've been able to launch or that you're working on at the moment?
Yeah, I think the features that we have built in the last year or last 12 months, especially the ones are exciting, which are focusing on enabling a broader public, enabling everyone to participate in the stock markets. And that is first and foremost the savings plan features that we built, and where we recently, just the beginning of this month, launched the stock savings plan feature. So to introduce this in a nutshell, the idea is that every month you take a few €100 and invest these into investment products at the capital markets, either funds which are investing into a broad range of stocks, very diversified, or stocks that you like, that you pick yourselves. And this product we can offer for no commissions and basically an automated way of investing into the capital markets. And this is something we're also seeing across our user base, a product that is very accepted and that a lot of our customers use. And I think also, which is very interesting for a larger, ever-growing number of people, because of demographic change, where actually investing, putting money aside, is something that everyone needs to look into.
Thank you so much,
Indeed.
both of you, for your time and for being here. And have a good rest of the day. Thank you, guys.
Great.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank you for having us again. Cheers. Bye.
Okay, so we're moving on after this connection with Germany, and we're going to start introducing our startup competition for the track. And to do that, let me remind you the deal with our competition. So it's a 3-minute pitch that our startups are going to pitch, and then we're going to go into Q&A. They're going to receive up to 2 questions of 30 seconds. So they have to answer in 30 seconds. If after those 30 seconds they don't answer, Alex will come out with some kind of sword or something and cut you off. And I really, really hate doing that. Everyone is so far going really well, and I'm very impressed because it's very hard. So, to start with our competition, I want to introduce our judges, and we have an interesting setting here because we have a set of physical judges here with me on the stage, and a massive amount of judges connected with us from all over the world, which is pretty impressive. So I want to introduce you very quickly our physical judges. So thank you very much all for being here. So thank you, Corina from Mutua, Jose Carlos from Bankinter, Paula from Inocels, Raquel from Bankia, Carlos from BBVA, and Jordy from Kibo. It's a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for joining us. It's good to feel and see other human beings, by the way, so that's pretty cool. And let me go back here to see a bunch of friends of mine, by the way, so good seeing you guys connected. So wow, our virtual judges, there's a lot from also all over the world. So please welcome Carlos from Polymath Ventures, Carlos from Faber in Portugal, Gonzalo from Faraday, Susie from Notion Capital, Jasper from HV Holzbrick Ventures, Jay from Propel Ventures, Lucia from Plug and Play Center, Michael from 8 Roads in London, Carlos from Matchmaker Ventures, Alexander from ID Invest, Nina from Project A Ventures, Oscar from SOS V Ventures, China Accelerator, Samarth from 630 Ventures, Sylvia from NL, Vinod from Draper Spirit, and Stefan from Launch Hub, and my good friend Monty from Blogspeak. So thank you all for being here. I see my Bulgaria connected there. So I feel like Eurovision right now, okay? Bulgaria, Sofia calling, okay? So I'll connect with all of you, so make sure you're ready for your questions. It will be my pleasure taking the questions for our startups. So you guys ready over there? Okay, you guys ready over there? Is everyone ready here? Let's go for this. Ready to rumble. So we're starting our first block of the track, which is using AI in financial services. And to start with that, we're flying all the way to the US to talk about how we can apply AI for handling intelligently and doing mortgage advisory. It's actually a field that's really interesting. I've been doing personally a lot of research on PropTech, on the PropTech industry, and the convergence of FinTech and PropTech. And this is a fantastic example of a startup right dead center there. So please welcome, without further ado, the CEO and co-founder of Home Lending Pal, Brian Young.
Hello, my name is Brian Young, CEO, co-founder of Home Lending Pal. And I'm here today to tell you about the new contactless way to buy a home. For most people that look to buy their dream home, the process becomes a nightmare. This is primarily because for the lender, the process is very heavily paper-based, time-consuming, labor-intensive, and expensive. This usually makes buying your dream home a nightmare for most first-time home buyers. So much so that 81% of millennials that buy their first home say their biggest regret is around their monthly mortgage payment and their monthly mortgage loan type. So what we've done is we've built the first intelligent mortgage advisor utilizing artificial intelligence to help first-time home buyers navigate the complexities of buying a home. We're doing this within a consumer-centric blockchain marketplace. But what does that mean? That means that we're removing the sales pressure. We're utilizing their personal information based on their finance and credit history to remove the guesswork. We're helping them avoid predatory lending by showing the true cost with multiple lenders, and we're utilizing blockchain to actually control their data and security. But what makes us different? The blockchain marketplace actually makes it easier to compare multiple lenders based on their actual underwriting guidelines. We're helping simulate the impact of different financial decisions before they are made. And if you are not ready to buy, we're giving you recommendations to help you follow within a period that you're looking to buy it within. And we operate within a very large space. The mortgage market itself is a poor $4.2 trillion market, and we are looking to address the $391 billion that operates from online loan originations. Even during COVID, demand for mortgages has grown by 33% year over year, and it is expected that 4.8 million millennials will buy homes within the next 5 years. And we've currently identified 5 different ways to monetize our platform. The first and simplest being lead generation. However, we are also looking to use smart contracts fees, transactional fees with smart contracts, click referral traffic, appointment setting, and targeted ad revenue. We expect that within the first 12 months, we'll generate 1.6 million in annual revenue, and then by the first 3 years, we'll generate 23.6 million. And we have a very experienced team as well, with over 60 years of experience within the mortgage space that range from underwriting to mortgage policies and guidelines to actual demand generation and conversion. We are very well equipped to solve this problem. We are currently raising $750,000 to give us a 12 to 15 month runway. This will primarily go towards product development and customer acquisition for pilots that we've already secured. And we're already doing it. Within our first 6 days of launching, we have over 700 plus users on our platform with an 83% approval rating. We've already secured strategic partnerships with the likes of IBM, Equifax, and Zillow. We filed for a provisional patent, and we already have 600,000 soft circle when we're just looking for a lead investor. And we already have banks that are actually very interested in our product and coming to us, such as Wells Fargo, the Federal Reserve System, and smaller community banks such as Happy State Bank and First Bank Southwest. We will hope that you will help us join and complete our process of building the new contactless way to buy a home. Thank you. My name is Brian Young.
Boom. Thank you so much, Brian. I find this space extremely interesting. And this kind of companies that are really, really going to change the market. So it's time for questions. So judges, please raise your hands if you have a question so we can locate you. No questions. Whoa, Brian, congratulations. I think you literally brushed them off the stage. That was impressive. Everything very clear, to the point, and incredible numbers. So, Brian, thank you so much for your pitch and great presentation. Okie dokie. So let's keep moving. We're going to step into the Sabadell segment. And I want to introduce the next guest on the stage. She's going to be sharing the stage with me, which is great. So please welcome Paula Blázquez, Head of Investments at InnoSales. So we're together. Thank you very much, Paula, for being here. Again, once again, physical contact is always great. And it's weird? It is weird. It is weird. Well, we're getting used to it slowly, step by step. Anyway, so you work, you're Head of Investment at InnoSales. Bank Sabadell. So you guys have been embracing AI technology for a while now. So I would love to know, how is this benefiting the bank? Or what is your perspective from inside the bank, and how are you guys applying these things?
So I guess let me start by saying that I think artificial intelligence, it's having and it will have a huge impact in society. And I think we're just basically scrapping the tip of the iceberg in terms of use cases that we can apply to in terms of artificial intelligence for the financial services industry, but for other industries as well. In big corporations, I guess the biggest or the most typical use case is regarding data processing. So the way we ingest huge quantities of data, we're able to process it, and then at the same time, we're able to understand it as it evolves on a constant manner. So this is done in a very efficient way with very little human interaction, very automatized, and this allows us to basically understand our customer to a level of personalization that was never possible before. So this is really a game changer. And then another use case that we are really already targeting and seeing is basically automation to make much more cost-efficient decisions, and automation tasks that are very repetitive, and clearly they don't need for a huge amount of know-how to be done. And this is definitely something that allows corporations to be more lean and ultimately be more sustainable at the end. So basically at Banco Sabadell, we've been embracing these technologies. We already have a department in big data, in business intelligence, and in a cognitive department using these technologies. And then in InnoSales, which is the corporate venture arm of Banco Sabadell, we invest in technologies that are leveraging this artificial intelligence technology to build use cases for financial services. But don't let me tell you, because we have actually here with us the 2 startups where we invested, they're using this technology. One is Active AI, where we invested in 2018, which is a conversational banking startup based out of Singapore. And the other one is Cover, which is an Israeli startup doing cyber modeling for insurers and reinsurers. So I'm sure they'll love to give you their take on it.
No, I'm definitely going to ask them because it's very rare to see banks where banks or any big company that builds the bridges to connect both sides and integrate this whole thing. You guys have been doing this for quite some time, so I was thinking about this sneaky question about how hard it is to then connect all the data that goes through the bank to feed the AI pipes, but that's for another conversation. That's an interesting one. Okay, I believe, as you said, we are connected with both Rabi, CEO and co-founder of Active. Rabi, are you here with us?
Yeah, I'm there. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. We have them. So we have Rabi and Yakir Golan, CEO and co-founder of Cover. Pleasure having you guys here.
Hi, everyone. Great to be here today.
Good. So I was just having a chat with Paula, and she was saying that she was very proud of you guys. So I think you better explain this kind of relationship. So I'll start with you, Rabi, if you don't mind. You know,
sure.
I'm going to be honest, like all the banks and all the big corporations always say like, yeah, our collaboration with startups is great, it's fantastic. I'm a startup guy, if you guys haven't seen it yet. So what is your take? How has your experience been working with them?
Well, to start with, I was a banker for 16 years, so I understand how banks work. And
that's called cheating. That's called cheating.
So I had an unfair advantage, you know. And I've been doing these startups for like now 10 years now. So pretty much, I would say I understand the mechanics of how this works. But to say it at least, you know, we had a struggle when we started because we were talking about artificial intelligence, unstructured conversations, customers banking through WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger and Alexa, all of those funny things that people said, oh, this looks like a science fiction movie, it's not going to happen, right? But today, as we started demoing and as we moved through the pilot phases into production with millions of end users right now, it seems it's pretty much customers, the banks are asking us to say, what more can we do? So I would say that banks have gone through a paradigm shift. And the pandemic actually has made them take risks they would have otherwise not taken, right? So it has been a very good point of inflection, but the world is changing for a good in a lot of ways.
No, you're actually very right. I was having this conversation recently where I'm saying even technological companies that in theory you would think, right? These people can do remote and they've been doing it. And they were telling me, the CTOs were telling me, yeah, it was a challenge even for us. And it's like, whoa. So everyone is, as you say, right, being pushed towards that end. And I'm glad that the communication between both sides is actually working. Again, maybe that's a solution. Maybe we should send the startups first to do a gig at the bank and then bring them out and then do the startup thingy.
Revolving door for
Rabi, thank you very much. Yakir, I'm with you. So Cover does something that I'm personally very fascinated about, which is you do AI cyber risk modeling, which it gives me immense pleasure. The word AI, I used to be in cybersecurity, so the word AI plus cybersecurity plus modeling is just fantastic. So can you please tell us a little bit more about you guys and what do you bring to the table and how do you connect that with the bank experience?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. So our solution quantifies financial exposure due to cyber risk by pinpointing cyber events that can lead to significant losses. The analysis is driven by scenarios and events, and one can range from highly viral global ransomware attacks to an outage of a global cloud provider. The platform is designed to help underwriters, exposure management professionals to understand and financially quantify cyber risk by utilizing AI-powered risk models. We create the models by leveraging a diverse set of data from cyber incidents, intelligence exposure data, claims incidents data, and access to a wide variety of third-party data providers. And I would say in similar ways to other lines of insurance, availability of data is a challenge, a true challenge. Well-structured and properly labeled data is lacking. And we play at Cover a key role, an important role in getting our clients and partners to understand the risk in a highly dynamic risk landscape. And you're all familiar with the cyber text numbers. They are growing at exponential pace, and you must harness technology to grasp the thousands of characteristics of the different type of attacks. And this is exactly what we're doing. So Carver uses AI to continuously analyze cyber campaigns on a global basis and extract the underlying attributes that are then used to create quantification models. Our models are trained continuously on curated data that reflect company cyber resilience characteristics, as well as firmographic information and financial loss.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that I used to work in cybersecurity, and the scale of it has changed so drastically, right? Before you went against one bad guy, now you go against 1,000 bots that are employing AI to attack things. So it's like a different game.
That's exactly it.
Yeah,
that's exactly it. You in order to cope properly with the immense amounts of data, you must harness technology, and AI is the spearhead there. And I believe it will help. When we are focusing on insurance, we are together with Paolo and the team exploring potential other verticals, and the collaborations with them is fantastic. So they push us continuously to, I would say, look on our assumptions, reiterate the values we bring to our clients, and just make the product better and better monetize what we already have.
Well, I believe from what I've heard so far is that Paula and her team are doing an extraordinary job. So she is also very lucky of being connected and working with you in a partnership, and the way you're working. I think it's strange, it's not the usual. So congratulations all. And we're out of time, but it was a pleasure having you. Next time, you're going to be here with me, and we're going to have a chat, both of you.
Definitely.
Okay? Thank you so much for your time, guys.
Thank you, guys.
See you around.
Take care.
Paula, thank you very much for your time. And once again, congratulations. And I say this from a startup guy, it's not easy. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're back to our startup competition. And this time we're flying all the way to the UK. And we're going to talk about a topic. You will see that I keep saying these things, that this topic is interesting to me and that topic is interesting to me. My friends already know me, and they say, like, Alex, you like every single topic. You keep saying all that stuff. But honestly, there's one thing about AI. I used to specialize on AI applied to cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is one side, AI is another one. But there's one thing that I've been chatting with all my AI friends, which is the whole notion of explainability. So having an AI, instead of having a black box, having something that can actually tell you why it's doing what it's doing. So how about AI automation for credit risk modeling? So to talk about that, please welcome our next startup, Panos Skilami, CEO of Spin Analytics from the UK.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Panos. I'm the CEO of Spin Analytics. Spin Analytics is bringing an explainable AI automation for credit risk management. 12 years ago, a few people only were thinking about banks or credit risk. Today, 2020, credit risk management has created a bigger problem together with COVID-19. And the big challenge is how to develop and redevelop fast, high-quality credit risk models. Behind each loan or credit product, there is one or more models. Banks use thousands of models which are still developed manually. The average time to develop a model is at least 6 to 9 months, and the average cost starts from $200,000 plus for every year for every model. We are an experienced team of bankers and credit risk modelers. My CTO, Ilias, was a group head of risk for National Bank of Greece for 25 years. He's a very experienced software developer and credit risk modeler. Julian Phillips as well. He was until recently the global head of risk for Standard Charter and a couple of other big banks. We have a global board of advisors with quite experienced bankers that they are supporting our actions globally. We would like to present you Risk Robot. Risk Robot completely automates the manual process of developing and validating regulatory banking models. It reduces the time more than 90% and the cost more than 70%, and brings all the agility, compliance, and time to market that the banks need in order to survive and thrive. The big difference between Risk Robot and generic tools is that it's not generic. It's very focused in credit risk management and modeling, and it applies all the right methodologies that are approved by the regulators. It can develop unlimited number of models for PD, LGD, AD models, and it applies for all the stakeholders in the bank. It does automated data cleansing, automated model development, validation, and automated documentation. And that's very powerful because this is what is required by the regulators, to have an explainable model. Risk Robot can be a multi-tenant, multi-workflow platform, and it has an advanced mobile-friendly user interface. It's a SaaS pricing model with unlimited support of languages in the cloud or on-premise. Our competition is still manual, and we are fully automated. We have extensive validation of the product globally in some of the biggest tier 1 banks, and we have a very big pipeline of projects in 3 continents. Our global partners are supporting our actions in continents currently, and we're expanding very fast. We would like to thank you for the participation at South Summit. We would like to hear your questions. Thank you very much.
Efcharistos, Panos. Kalimera. So, let's see, I'm going back to our judges. So judges, are you ready to ask questions? There you go. Please raise your hands because it's getting complicated with so many people to track you down, so we really need to check. I've seen a couple of hands up. So Gonzalo, I believe we have you patched through.
Hi, thank you very much. And congratulations for the project. I know it's going to be difficult to answer this in 30 seconds, but I would like to know if your commercialization strategy has already started, and if it involves as well going through distributors like some of the brand names of big 4 companies, for example, that you've put in some of your slides.
Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity. My name is Panos Kliamis. I'm the CEO of Spin Analytics. Spin Analytics is an explainable AI automation for model development and validation in tier 1 and digital banks. We have actually done our first project with Vvva in Spain when they discovered us in the Open Talent Innovation program. And now we have more than 11 system integrators, and we're working in 3 continents with 25 banks. We're actually doing exactly that, distributing due to the partners.
Whoa, wow, that was impressive. Okay, so one last question. Anyone, do we have any extra question, guys? Okay, Jose Carlos, I'm with you now. Please.
Hi, Panos. Congratulations for your pitch. I have the question, what is your deployment time in a bank, in those large companies where you work?
Yeah. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to describe how fast is the deployment time. The deployment time, it takes a maximum 3 weeks from the time that we start. The most of the time that we spend is arranging the contract negotiations, which we actually speed up because of our partnership with big cloud providers that they can support our implementation. We have done already quite a lot of implementations globally, and we can present a proof of concept in 2 days when the banks need 9 months to develop the same model. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Panos. Thank you very much, judges. And now this brings me to you because you work, Jose Carlos, you work at Bankinter, right? And you guys do a lot of partnerships and investments with startups, and you've been doing it for quite some time. So do you mind sharing a little bit? And I'm biased here because I actually work with you guys, so I really know your programs and they're really interesting. So please, if you can share with us a little bit of what do you guys do as a bank to support the startup ecosystem?
Yes, exactly. Bankinter, through Bankinter Innovation Foundation, has several programs to support the startups and the startup ecosystem. We have the observatory, the Spanish Startup Observatory, which is an investment operation database available for everyone in our website. We are partners in Scale Up Spain, together with Wirex and with Endeavor, where we help startups in the transition to scale-ups. And as well, we have the Venture Capital Program, which is a joint program between the foundation and Bankinter Venture Capital, where we invest in at early stages in high technology startups, not only in fintech startups, because that's a common question when you are a bank. We are sector agnostic, and we began this program in...
How much money do you invest? Show me the money.
Our initial ticket is between 50 and 300K.
Okay, fair enough.
We began this program in 2013. Since then, we have invested in more than 40 companies. And our most relevant or differential point regarding other funds is that we are an evergreen fund, which means we don't have any time limit or any follow-on investment limit. And that's it.
Wow. Well, again, I'm biased. I will collaborate with you guys. And they're good guys, I'll tell you that. So from a startup perspective, they treat you fair and square, and they do a lot of very good things and moving and improving all the time. Thank you very much. Anyway, so we're stepping out of this first block, as I was saying, and we're stepping into the next block number 2 on innovation. And to talk about innovation, I want to welcome on stage the Executive Manager of Cybersecurity and Innovation at Bankia. So please welcome Ignacio Cea. Welcome to our stage. Ignacio, good to see you.
Good to see you.
There we go. Please take a seat.
Thank you.
So, interesting. You have a very interesting background of hands-on stuff. So, I wanted to talk to you about how, you know, technology. Everyone here knows technology is going and accelerating and pushing everything at a fast rate. So, what do you see banks in the future? What kind of products do you think banks are going to be selling in the future? Because this goes very fast, and I'm going to be mean here, but banks are not known to go fast. So, just I would love to hear your...
So far, we will see in the future. But
so far, that's why I'm asking.
Okay, but regarding the products we could sell in the future, but I would like to speak a little bit just about the technology we have in the background, no? Because it's critical, let's say, for creating new products on top. The technology we are using is old technology, we could say. No? We have been maintaining, let's say, the history of the product for a long time.
No COBOL, right?
No, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even worse. Even worse. We have PL1, for instance, in some pieces of the installation. So,
wow.
Because we have to maintain the product that our customer has from the early beginning. So
is this kind of product that when you go to the data center, no one knows what it does, but it's like, it's working, don't touch it?
Yeah, it's working, don't touch. Even the code is unknown.
Wow.
Even the code we have. No? So one of the things we have to do first is to renew our infrastructure. Let's say for creating something more new, with new technology, more open, let's say for allowing, let's say, the connection from outside.
Secure.
Obviously, this is always secure. No? By the way, COBOL is one of the most secure systems in the world. No?
Well, fair enough. Very few people know it anymore. So
no hackers know them. Well, this is one of the things we have to do. In the other hand, renewal the technology is for reducing the cost, because in banking industry, having a reduced cost is critical also. No? If you take a look to the neobanks, for instance, and you analyze which is the running cost that they have for creating or for running a single product like a card, for instance, you will see that the cost they have is very low compared with the cost of the bank. It's true that we have a wide set of products instead of having just a couple of them. No? But one of the things we have to do is to renew the technology, first of all, no? And open more the technology. And after that, we could start to thinking, say, different products or evolutions of the products we have. In my humble opinion, for instance, I think that we don't need to sell a wide set of products, because the human, let's say, the normal humans don't use this, the full type of product we use. Probably you don't know that we are selling now more than 150 different type of cards.
I get a sense of that.
Just with a couple of them, probably 10, probably between 5 to 10, is more than enough to simplify the number of products we sell.
So this goes to my question. I'm very fast because we're nearly out of time. I always have this notion, like, will banks become like highly specialized on a very small amount of products, or will they dilute into some kind of beast that not just touches fintech, but Insurtech and gobbles other fields, right?
Other thing we have to do is a bank. In my opinion, a bank should be a very good integrator of different specialized solutions provided by specialized fintechs, for instance. No? Instead of trying to develop all the products we could imagine, let's say, we should be good integrating the products that others produce.
Camel, you're becoming the platform.
Yeah.
Blockchain.
Yeah. Well,
well, sir, we're out of time. So, Ignacio, pleasure having you, even if it was brief. Next time, we'll extend it and chat a little bit more. Okay. Thank you so much for being here with me. Pleasure having you, and good luck with that. You can leave. Yeah. Agile. Remember that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. So we're moving forward again into the next startup of the competition. This time we're coming back here to Madrid to talk with. Actually, it's funny because I do know this startup. Very good friends. So. You know, every time you have all these subscription apps now, you know, Netflix and HBO and this other, any kind of product right now that we are getting the subscription fees, it's getting a little bit to the point where this is becoming quite unmanageable, right? My kids come to me and they say like, Daddy, we also want Disney Plus. We also want this and that. And it's like, you know, I was having this conversation also about media, right? I mean, I can pay for a subscription for the New York Times, but I cannot pay New York Times and Washington Post and this one and this one and this one. So how do we deal with that? How do we manage that? To talk about that, please welcome our next startup from Spain, Gabriel Ayala, CEO of Suscript.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gabriel. I am going to tell you about Suscript and the future of the shared economy. The problem we solve is that we facilitate sharing any digital subscription, like Netflix or Spotify, any service, like the electricity, or any rent, like the apartment that you live in. And by doing this, we help users save money, owners make money, and both to share without any hassle. We are like Tinder for subscriptions because you can match people you don't know and start sharing any digital subscription with them. And there's no sex, but you can slide. We are also like Splitwise on steroids because you can track how much the electricity provider charges this month automatically, split it and charge your group. This means we can automate variable billing amounts. We can also do the same for fixed amounts, like the rent that you pay. And that's why we face competition in specific functionalities, but we are the only ones who automate the entire process of sharing. And typical questions people ask us at this point are, is the marketplace legal? And the answer is yes. What are the entry barriers for an app like Suscript? We are working with big players. They are partners, not competition. And we are also 2 years ahead of any other competitor that wants to copy us. The market for Suscript is huge. Only in Spain is 4 billion euros in recurring revenue in annual sales. And the trend is also very attractive. PricewaterhouseCoopers estimates it's going to multiply times 20 in the next 5 years. Our business model has two main revenue streams. The first one is freemium, where we charge 4 euros per person a month. And the second one is transactional, where we charge 3% plus 1 euro per transaction. And we currently have 313 active users who have shared 87,000 euros using Suscript, and 74% of them have recurring payments added to their groups, which means that they are here to stay. Our average shared transaction is 150 euros, which is very high, and this is thanks to rent and utility services that are shared through our platform. And 66% of our active users are less than 35 years old, and they are typically clients of any particular bank. We are engaged in collaborations with Bankia, Vvva, Telefonica, and CaixaBank. Specifically with Bankia, we are doing a pilot, and with Vvva and Telefonica, we are participating in the acceleration programs. The key members of our organization come with a background of banking and consulting, and our business case has 3 phases, the first one being for Spain, where we predict to have a positive EBITDA in the year 2022, and we need an additional 650,000 euros to reach Spain break-even. And to do that, we are selling equity at a 3 million pre-money valuation with the objective of capturing 83,000 active users and an expected return of investment of 25x the amount invested. And please find your share and share with Suscript. Thank you very much for your time.
Yay, there we go. I must tell a story though. When I met Gabriel, he was still working for the mothership, okay? So he was still at Vvva, and he got this idea, and he said, like, let's leave the Borg and start doing startups. So congratulations, Gabriel, for the great job that you're doing. Clearly the pandemic treated you well, because you can see the curve going up during the pandemic, so pretty awesome. So, judges, are we ready for the questions? Please raise your hand so we can see you and we can take your questions. I see some hands there. Nina, all yours, please patch through.
Hi, Gabrielle. Thanks so much for the great presentation. My question is very much centered around, let's say, identification. Do I only see people that I already know, so I do identification offline? Or is this something that you also offer as an online service where you do KYC, or actually kind of like offering some sort of identification services to build trust?
We are a platform to share the subscription, but the processing payment part of our platform, we have it externalized with MangoPay, and they are the ones who do the identification and KYC processes that are needed to comply with the law.
Okay, wow, that was easy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nina. Thank you very much, Gabriel. Any other questions? Do we have any other questions? Judges, hands up. I believe, Elena, we have you through. Oh, there you go. Go ahead, Elena.
Hi, Gabriel. Nice to see you again. Quick question. What are your plans regarding international expansion?
Thanks, Elena. We plan to be available worldwide by the end of November. And we plan also to engage in collaborations with banks that are abroad, especially in the Asia and Middle East region, where we are participating with ISEX in the Tel Aviv Desafia program. And we are getting some contacts through those countries.
Okay, there we go. Well, thank you very much, Elena. Thank you very much, Gabriel. It was a pleasure having you here. Thank you for being connected. Great pitch, by the way. I must say, I saw the previous pitch. Much improved, Gabriel, so great job. Okay, and we're moving to our next startup. Also super interesting. I think most of us know how hard it is to launch a product. Now, much more when you have to launch a lot of products out there. So to help with that, to help financial institutions to launch products faster and better, we have our next company, also from Spain. So please welcome Eduardo Martinez, CEO of Tokyo.
Hi. In Tokyo, we believe that every company will be a fintech company. We are working not only with banks, but financial institutions, business and corporate, and startups to launch fintech platforms to market to better serve their customers, and in some cases, to improve their own internal products. We power this with a marketplace where they can find all the digital solutions to implement their products. But not only that, they can find a full range of services and financial products to make their proposition stronger and more competitive. In that marketplace, they can also place their products so other customers can benefit from them. Powered by this marketplace, we have 3 sets of distinct products which are interlinked, but can be consumed independently. A full set of financial products powered by banking automation, such as invoice finance, expense management, factoring, etc. A digital banking proposition for SMEs. The easiest way to explain it is a Revolut or an N26 for SMEs. All powered by data. Our powerful set of APIs connected to accounting and other platforms, and our business intelligence algorithms give us the wealth of customer insight we need to be competitive. And we provide all of this as a service. Not only the technology is provided as a service, but also the products, the regulation, the compliance, everything our customers need to launch the propositions to market, reducing the barriers of entry to fintech innovation. Our solutions are modular, integrated, and white label. And of course, we host, manage, and continually innovate our solutions. We started in January 2019, and since then, we have worked with over 20 companies. We have 16 clients live, we have 1.5 million euros of revenue, and we have contracted 3.2 million euros. Our pipeline is very healthy, and we have over 30 opportunities that we will continue growing over the next few months. Our revenue comes from license fees, transaction fees, and setup fees. We also got some external recognitions. We are finalists on South Summit. We won Lanzadera Corporate. We won Cuatro Casas Acelera. And last year, in December, Early Metrics rated us as in the top 30% of best startups in the world. We couldn't have done so with our rockstar team that have worked together and successfully launched and exit previous startups. A team which is diverse, not only in culture and gender, but also in skill sets. We have investment bankers, we have banking experts, we have IT, scientists, all the skills we need to overcome all the challenges ahead of us. A team that is committed to the world that we live in. In Tokyo, we help our team and customers to achieve the sustainability and financial goals set by the United Nations. Many thanks.
Eduardo, take my money. Seriously. I mean, we're getting to the point where this is innovation as a service now. Great job, impressive numbers, really impressive numbers. So, judges, do we have any questions? Carlos, I believe you have a question. Please go through.
Yes, thank you, and thanks for the presentation. One quick question. We have seen other or many participants in the banking as a service industry in the world and specifically in Europe offering this kind of services. What is, in your value proposition, the characteristic that makes you different from those other platforms that we are seeing many, and some of them are really expanding and growing very fast?
So what we have seen in other technical solutions is they are very much focused on consumer. We have created a proposition which is very much interlinked for the small and medium-sized businesses in the market. And over there, there is not that much competition. So we started not only banking as a service because we ally with banks. We rely on banks to provide some of the services we do. We are a marketplace with a lot of digital solutions that help some of our customers to launch solutions as quickly as 6 weeks.
Okay, wow, super fast, very good. Do we have any other questions? I believe Samarth, we're patching you through in virtual.
Great presentation and good execution so far, Eduardo. Just a question: is there anything stopping you from expanding into other markets? Is this completely SaaS, and therefore, is there a plan to expand outside of the European market as well?
So it's completely SaaS, and we rely on the compliance of some of our partners and solutions that are in our marketplace. So the answer is yes. We started with a pilot in Singapore not long ago. We are focusing on consolidating the European market. We are very strong in the UK, with almost 15 projects over there. We have a few projects in Spain, Germany, Italy, and Malta. But definitely, we will be looking to expand beyond the European market soon, but with partners, not immediately alone. At the moment, it's focused in Europe alone.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Well, I mean, that looks like a really, really fantastic proposition. Incredible track record, Eduardo. Once again, thank you very much for joining. And we're going to move to our next chat with someone on the stage, which is great. And I'm very, very pleased with having her on stage. She's a good friend and with an incredible track record. She's been named one of the 500 most influential people in Spain, one of the 100 most creative people in business by Forbes. So please welcome to a stage the founder of Fintonic, Lupina Iturriaga. Wow, impressive. Lupina,
how are you?
Pleasure as always. Please take a seat.
Thank you.
I'll be with you in a second. And to complement your talk, I want to also invite the co-guests. So Binuth, partner from Draper Spirit. Please patch in. There you go, Binuth. Nice to see you again. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. Excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you guys, both of you. So I'm going to start with you now that I have you connected here, and I'll be right back in a second with you. So Binuth, you've been working with a lot of companies. You used to run a micro angel fund and invested in a lot of startups through crowdfunding. So based on your experience and what you're being seeing now as being a partner, what are the key technological layers behind the banks of the future? We had a conversation a moment ago precisely about this, right? It's not about the product, it's sometimes about the layers behind this that are really key to the innovation aspect.
I think if you peel the layers behind a bank, an incumbent bank, one of the things you'll find is a very high cost-income ratio, typically in the 70–80% mark. That means for every dollar of income they make, they're spending 70 to 80 cents servicing it. And so when we spent a bit of time thinking through what those deeper layers look like, it turns out there are sort of three areas that banks are mostly spending all their money in. It's specifically in payments, in fraud, and in core banking systems. So those are the three sort of technological layers, I would say, at a very high level.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was just thinking about the fraud one, which is sometimes kind of getting a little bit out of control. What type of tech models do you think are going to win moving forward? There's a lot of talk about what works and what doesn't. What's your opinion on that?
I think, well, interestingly, I mean, we've watched the Tokyo pitch earlier on. We're finding more and more incumbent banks think about how they partner with startups. And so there's always the conversation about build versus buy versus partner within an incumbent bank. And very often the partner is that first conversation because they sort of fail the build conversation. So the question is really, what kind of technology will you partner with? We're seeing a fair amount of movement into cloud-native payments, and we're also seeing a fair amount of movement into cloud-native infrastructure software, things like core banking systems. I mean, you have to bear in mind, right, there is a fundamental difference in how big banks think about technology. You know, in their minds, it's typically CapEx. So it's this huge, big budget they set aside. They're going to spend 100 million a year just managing their existing core systems. And so when you get them to shift from that to talking to a company like Tokyo, they have to go from a CapEx to an OpEx mindset to go, actually, there's an element here where it's recurring monthly, and that is a huge leap. It starts to touch into the nervous system of how a bank thinks about how it spends money.
Yeah, I was thinking about the CFO of any bank having that conversation. Like, look, this is how it's going to go now. So, Binod, thank you very much for answering the questions. And let me go back to Lupina. You guys have a stellar record, right? You've achieved so much. You were some of the very early fintech companies in Spain. So I was wondering, now that you've achieved like core status and you've kind of broken through a lot of the barriers, being the trailblazers that you are, what's next for Fintonic?
Well, you know, in Fintonic now we have over 1 million users, and of course we do aggregate all the banks and create cards in one place so they have everything organized within the app, so we can tell them alerts when something was wrong. But from the very, very beginning, also, we tell them if they're overpaying the receipts, if they're overpaying in their phone receipt, insurance, energy bills, and we do the switching for them, so we really save them money for the very beginning.
I'm a user, by the way.
That's great. So we help them saving thousands of euros from the very beginning, but also we give them their own credit score, so we tell them how good or bad they are for the banks, which API they do deserve if they're going to apply for the loan. Bear in mind that in Spain and Europe and most countries, we don't have a positive wall, so the people cannot get a loan from a bank that they are not clients. So leverage on this credit score, we have built a great marketplace, a loan marketplace, so the users within Fintonic in less than 2 minutes, they can get the best loan personalized for them from all these entities. They are from the top banks and the top financial entities. We have it in Spain and Mexico also. So it's very great for them because in less than 10 minutes, no paperwork, they have the loan. And also, we help them. So organize, saving, we help them to have the loans cover their financial needs. But also, I can announce today that we are launching also an account and a card that's going to be really unique with features that they don't exist right now, leverage also in these capabilities that I mentioned before. Of course, with the Spanish IBAN, so they can have all their own payroll, all their everything there. You can pay all over the world with no cost at all. It's going to be huge. It's going to be amazing. And this is what we want to be, you know, like be an active agent in putting back the power into the user's hands, giving always what is best for the user, no matter which bank they belong. So it's very important for us to be this trusted advisor that gives transparency and never force to get our own product, because of course we have our own balance, but we don't force them to that. No, we always get what is best for them.
Well, first of all, let me tell you, congratulations on the new launch. I was thinking that, you know, you're in a very sweet spot, the fact that you've been aggregating all this information and now being able to digitalize the end-to-end situation in 30 minutes. Yeah. That's absolutely impressive.
3 minutes, in 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
They can get a loan in less than 3 minutes. It's really, really amazing.
You know who's going to love this? The real estate industry. Well, Lupina, thank you so much for joining us here. Always a pleasure. You know, this is your house. Thank you very much, Binod, also for joining us from the other corner of the world. Well, other corner of London, I'm guessing, right?
Yes.
There you go. Well, It's around the corner. Let's put that. Thank you both very much for being here. So now we're stepping back to the Vvva segment track, and to join us virtually with us, I want to welcome our next guest speaker, the head of new business models and strategy for client solutions at Vvva, Jordy Garcia. Welcome, Jordy.
Hi everyone, and thank you for the invitation. How are you doing?
Very good. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm great to see you.
Well, you have
good shape.
Good shape. Where am I connecting with? Are you in Madrid or Barcelona?
I'm here in Madrid.
Ah, good. Then you should have joined us here in person.
I tried to do it, but I couldn't. Sorry about that.
Well, anyhow, as someone that has been touching, and you touch innovation and you collaborate with startups in an ongoing basis, it's always very critical, as we were talking before, like the banks have big core systems and there's plenty of challenges to go and choose from.
Yeah.
So I believe you are kind of in charge of highlighting what are the critical aspects, what are the critical points where the startup Vvva or the startup corporation collaboration can happen. So can you tell us what's your view, what are those critical points where you believe that startups can really bring things to the table?
Yeah, it's a very good question. First of all, I want to just step back a little bit and say, where are we coming from? Vvva has been one of the main starters in the collaboration with the fintech ecosystem from the very beginning, and we are still there. Even with the pandemic that we have suffered, we have been always there. We have moved online all our activities through the Open Innovation Program, and for us, we feel very proud of saying that up to now this year, we have done almost 200 connections with the fintech ecosystem this year in all our footprint in Latin America, in Europe, in Turkey, in Mexico, in the US. And when we are doing that, we are thinking, and the main purpose of doing those connections is to scale up the fintech ecosystem and at the same time solve real problems that we at Vvva have in the different countries where we are present. So for us, saying that we are going to scale 6 out of these 178 connections this year, this is huge, because it means that the bank is fully committed with all those tests, and it's also working for the fintech to succeed. So it's a win-win value proposition. And then looking forward, and just going back to your question, I think it's important to work in 2 ways with the fintech ecosystem. One is in defining the process, and for that we have been working with what we call the fast track process, so that we want to speed up the connections with the fintech, so that they can test fail. We can test fail together and try to see how we improve the capability of the solution that we want to offer together. And second, it's very important too, is where are the fields, the areas, the opportunities that we are seeing moving forward, and also tied to our strategy at Vvva of helping our clients with their financial health, and also helping our clients to move to transition into the sustainability world that we are going to. And we see 3 areas of interest. First one is to help the SMEs go digital, and go digital basically through e-commerce, in payments, in collections, in financing, in non-financial solutions for SMEs. We're exploring all these fields around SMEs and self-employed going digital. Second area of interest is helping individuals to finance their purchases, their online purchases. We have seen also through the pandemic, we have e-commerce is growing for merchants and also in the individuals, the retail side of the equation. We want to develop and to work together with new credit new scoring models, new data sets, with new fraud tools that can help go through that process. And third, but not last but not least, related to sustainability, we want our clients to help them move to this transition to the new normal and the sustainability world that is basically pushing everyone to in the same direction. And for that, we are exploring opportunities about energy efficiency and around mobility. So all these opportunities, we are putting them together in the BBVA Open Marketplace. And I invite you to join the platform and to connect with the bank.
Wow, Jordy, a lot of very important pieces, I would say, in the equation. I would say to wrap it up, because we're running out of time, but I always had the sense that BBVA is starting to mutate. It's not a bank anymore, it's becoming a technology company. And I've had that feeling for quite some time now. And the next steps that you guys are building clearly show a little bit of that path. So Jordy, thank you so much for sharing your vision with us. It's been a pleasure having you. And next time we definitely need to explore some startups together.
Thank you, and I hope to see that very soon.
Thank you very much, Jordy.
Enjoy your summit.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so how are my judges doing? Judges, are you doing okay? Yeah, still with me? Virtual judges, are you still with me, right? You know, you can check your email and do stuff, you know, bottle of water again, no coffee, tea, much healthier. You're sorry you don't get any coffee here, though. Anyway, so we're getting into the blockchain moment, okay? I know that some people roll their eyes when we talk about blockchain. Other people kind of go like, yes, finally, blockchain, okay? And to talk about blockchain, we're going back to the startup competition and flying all the way to the US to talk about the global banking platform that allows the digitalized money and money transfers using blockchain as the rails. So please welcome Daniel Goldman, CEO of Turnio.
Hi, I'm Daniel Goldman, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Turnio, a blockchain technology company based out of Atlanta, Georgia. Now, what problem are we solving? 2020 will prove to be an important inflection point in history. Consumer behaviors are changing and digital adoption is accelerating. The banking system has become the underlying architecture behind commerce and everything we do. But that banking architecture is nearly 50 years old and consumers are demanding more. People need more flexibility and control of how they choose to engage with their money and other financial assets. Description of our product. Turnio is a global fintech platform built on top of blockchain technology. We provide interoperability between the old systems that banks and fintechs are presently using and the new systems like blockchain. Blockchain technology is cheaper, more secure, faster, and allows for customers to engage with their digital cash in a way that they've never been able to before in history. Our customers get bank accounts for both domestic and international users. We'll be offering Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay card issuance in the USA, Europe, and globally. Decentralized wallets so customers can custody their own funds, and peer-to-peer transfers in 2 seconds for no cost anywhere in the world. What's our added value? We focus on both B2C and B2B2C. We're a platform, so our other companies can use our technology and capabilities. Now, most companies don't understand what blockchain is, and even if they do, they don't understand how to properly build it, and even if they did, they would still have to build a solid business model around it. We've done all three of those things, and we help other fintechs build their businesses on our platform. What is our target audience? First, our audience is global, with the US being our primary focus. The EEA is second, and everything else number 3. We're a platform, so we work through our partnerships and grow our capabilities every time we white label our technology to another company. For B2C, our target is someone who's crypto-centric, which is typically 18 to 50 male. Now, competitors, really see this in terms of 3 buckets. Bucket 1 is the crypto audience, bucket 2 is the money transfer business, and bucket 3 is the banking system. We believe that the second and third buckets are ripe for disruption in a very significant way in the near future using blockchain technology. Metrics and business model. First, we're profitable. We have plenty of money in the bank, and we've grown from around 10 people at the beginning of the year to 24 people now, while still being profitable. My favorite metric that we have is that we have 0% turnover over the past 12 months because culture is something that's very hard to replicate. our revenues have increased from 1.7 million last year to what we're projecting now, 7.3 million this year. Our growth in Q2 this year was 50% over Q1 this year. Our cancellation rate is less than 2%. So when we get a customer, we're keeping that customer. Our cost per acquisition is $10 for a user and $40 for a paying customer. Our lifetime value is being formulated and our annual value is around $130. In terms of the team, we're based in Atlanta and Charlotte in the United States. And our product is decentralized and so is our team. Thank you very much.
Okay, that was fantastic, Daniel. Thank you so much. And thank you very much for being connected. I believe it's early morning over there in Atlanta, so calling Atlanta there. Nice to see you. And okay, judges, are we ready for our questions? Do we have any questions? Please raise your hands. I see one there, one over there too. Paula, you're first. Please chip in.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the presentation. So my understanding is that through Turnio, one of the big kind of advantages is through the POS solution that you can allow customers to pay directly on the POS as compared to other wallets. What do you think is the main constraint for other competitors, big ones such as Binance or other wallets, to basically step into that kind of part of the value chain?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So there's several modes. First of all, there's a lot of complexities around the technology itself, providing interoperability between sort of the old traditional systems within the banking fintech system, payment processors. That's not a simple thing to kind of bridge those gaps. Number two, you have regulatory concerns, compliance issues. Obviously, banks understand compliance, but the regulatory issues are something I think that a lot of people don't understand. And number three, having a business model that makes sense for a bank when they're used to having a fee structure that's up here.
There we go. Boom. Thank you very much. I believe we have, there you go. Okay, from Oscar, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Daniel, first of all, congratulations for this 0% churn on customers, pretty impressive. And this revenue, I'd like to know a bit more about the breakdown between the B2C revenue and the B2B revenue, and how is this come from? How repeatable it is?
Well, it's very repeatable. Thank you. So I'd say it's not public information yet, but we're the first blockchain company right now that is Visa Fintech enablement partner. So we are actually going to be onboarding companies for Visa when they get approved in the Visa Fast Track program. The vast majority of our revenues up to date have been B2C, but partly that's because getting a white label program up live takes quite a bit of time. But I'll tell you that the future is going to be our B2B2C platform. It is definitely going to be the driving force behind our product.
Okay, wow, that was to the point. Thank you, Oscar, for your question. By the way, big fan of SOSV, so good having you. I believe we don't have any more questions. Daniel, thank you so much for being connected and for sharing that pitch with us. Thank you, all the judges, as always. And we're going to keep talking about blockchain. And Daniel actually pointed out to something that I believe is extremely important, which is keep wondering about how people perceive blockchain, right? I used to do a lot of agile, and now no one talks about agile, right? Agile management and all that stuff. It feels it's part of the deal, right? And it's getting to the point where blockchain, I have the feeling that is also getting to that point of, I wouldn't say ubiquitousness, but pretty close. So precisely to talk about that, we have today one incredible technological expert that has built several solutions around blockchain. So please welcome Maria Teresa Maritel Nieto. She's a blockchain technological expert at Telefonica. Please welcome her. Thank you so much for joining us. There we go. Please take a seat. Thank you for being here. Human faces.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I was actually going through your background, and I'm like, oh my God, she's one of mine. She's a developer. She builds stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I was very tempted of throwing some really hardcore questions here.
Really?
Yeah, but let's keep it simple. Let's keep it simple.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of blockchain. I've been covering it since 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I bought Bitcoin early on, and I remember having this fight with my editor. I was writing a piece on blockchain, and he was like, yeah, but everyone is talking about Bitcoin. And I was like, no, I don't care about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I care about blockchain. And he's like, What's the difference? It's like, there's a big difference. So, but still, there's a lot of people that keep thinking about blockchain in terms of the financial industry.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear if blockchain is being applied elsewhere and how is it being applied?
Yeah, absolutely. You were absolutely right, because since the emergence of Bitcoin in the year 2008, everything was, oh my God, blockchain is Bitcoin. And what was this thought? In the main reason, it was because at the beginning, only blockchain could implement this type of solution based on the cryptocurrency. But a few years later, in the year 2015, a new term appeared in the ecosystem that was the smart contract. Maybe you know about the smart contract, right?
It's ethereal for that.
Yeah. So at the end, if someone doesn't know what is a smart contract, a smart contract is a computer program that allows us to implement any kind of business logic. So at the end, we could implement whatever we want. We can implement identity, traceability, settlement, accountability, and a lot of things. We can implement everything. So at the end, there are a lot of solutions based on the fintech field, but there is a lot of more. For example, now with the COVID-19, we have a lot of projects with traceability of the contacts, for example.
Yeah, contact tracing app.
Yeah.
Spain and that.
Yeah.
That's another conversation.
So we can implement whatever we want. Also, Gartner said that in the year 2030, the blockchain value is going to reach $3 trillion. But if we only implement fintech's application, we are not going to reach that quantity.
Question to you then.
Okay.
Out of the fintech solutions, what is your favorite application of blockchain outside of that field?
That's a very hard question.
One, quickly, we have 10 seconds.
Oh, I don't know, maybe instant payments.
Instant payments?
Yeah.
That's kind of fintech also, right?
Yeah.
Outside of fintech?
Outside of fintech?
Yep.
I will say the tracing of the data, because, for example, in the supply chain, it's very, very important.
The pandemic has shown that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Maritel, thank you so much for being here. A pleasure, and keep pushing. We need more corporates working around these fields.
Thank you very much. Bye.
There we go. Thank you so much. Okay, so moving forward. So now we're stepping outside of blockchain. That was for those that rolled their eyes before about blockchain. It's been quick and painless, I hope. So we try and keep it like that. Now, we're going to start talking about payments now. So to talk about payments, I want to invite our next guest on stage. He's the Corporate Director for Business Solutions at Bankia. So please welcome Raimundo Sala to our stage. Raimundo. There we go.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hello, please take a seat.
Thank you very much.
I think you have one of the longest titles I've ever seen in my life.
That could be.
Because within business solutions, it goes open business, new business, payment, methods, AV services. Oh my God.
Yeah, long one.
Long one. But you also sit on the board, and you're a board member of Bizum. You've been working at PayPal also, so impressive. You've been an entrepreneur also, I believe.
Yes.
You have your own company in photography, right?
Yes.
There you go. Have you, Trace?
I can tell.
So you have a lot of experience around payments. So how do you think that's evolving right now, especially with the current situation where the pandemic has obviously accelerated that? What is your take on that? Where are we going with this?
Yeah. Well, actually, if we look at the whole world, we have different speeds, different trends all over the world. You see Asia, which has been going with and working with super apps for a long time, and also with independent apps that work outside the bank ecosystem. You see Latin America, who's working a lot with QR codes. You see Africa, who's working a lot with recurring billing and instant billing. And then you see Europe, where it's going, you say, with the traditional method of payments, but we can see a strong trend moving away from cash. Most of European economies has been actually, cash has been the king for many, many years. We take the example of Spain or Italy. But you can see in the Northern Europe where we see countries where cash hasn't been present in a long time. Yeah. and they have also a deadline where cash will disappear. So we see a great evolution, and COVID, of course, has helped with that consciousness of cash not bringing any added value. You see how people are stopping withdrawing money from ATMs. People are actually willing to pay with contactless cards and with their wallets in their phones. And this trend, although we see a big acceleration curve, and now it's kind of slowing down a little bit, I think the trend and the culture of people has changed now, and we'll continue on that path.
I hope you're right, because I was one of those, like, every time I try to pay with my card or whatever, they say, like, no, that's a minimum amount that you have to pay. What are you talking about? I go to London and I can pay for chewing gum with this. Sure. It's like, okay. So very quick question, because we are nearly out of time, but you mentioned something that was interesting. You were mentioning things like, I'm guessing Alipay or WePay and stuff like that. Do you think we will ever see something like the WeChat app in Europe, right? You have that in Asia in different incarnations, but we will see that meta app that, you know, it's the main connecting point is the payment part, and then all these other vendors and all these other sources under.
Actually, this trend is happening in some of the parts of the world. If you go to Northern Africa, you have Jumia. Yep. Basically, they're bringing all the services together, but they don't create those services. They are basically open platform, which companies can connect via open APIs and can offer the services. So I see that trend happening more and more and more. You can see in any city like Madrid, where we are now, all the mobility companies, that you have a broad spectrum. You actually check any phone and you see 7 to 10 apps of mobility and say, okay, I just need one that connects all of them. So I think this will come at one point, and I think the connection of all, it won't be the payment itself, it will be actually the individual. The individual will actually rule how they want to interact with each one of them, and you connect with the payment. But I think payments should go in a frictionless environment.
I really hope you're right, because I was thinking about, imagine Facebook running this whole thing. I'm not sure I would be comfortable with that.
Well, I think Facebook should be a player. Okay. I think there's a room for everything, and I think every company has a space.
We need a longer chat about that. Raimundo, thank you very much for joining us today. Yes, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so back to our startups. Judges ready? Startups ready? Let's do this. So now we're going back to Spain and to talk about the social benefits that brings financial wellness to employees and giving real-time access to their salaries anytime, anywhere. Please welcome our next startup, Jaime Jimenez, founder and CEO of Tips.
Hello, my name is Jaime Jimenez, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Tips. Tips is a social benefit that reduces financial stress of employees. The situation of workers is very stressful. Financially speaking, 48% of them take on high-cost credit to face unexpected expenses of €300. 53% of them live payday to payday, and 57% of them cannot manage to save anything from their monthly income. On the other hand, we have employers who are very interested in improving their benefits program, 75% of them, including mental and financial health solutions. 5 out of 10 employees are financially stressed, and that's producing low productivity, employee turnover, absenteeism, lack of engagement, and demotivation. And that is exactly why we created Tips, to help employers provide their employees with financial well-being. Tips is a social benefit that provides financial wellness for employees, giving them liquid access to their earned salary with no interest or debt, and providing them with savings tools and financial education that truly help. For employers, Tips is a SaaS solution that integrates with the employer's existing processes, and there is a financial partner that funds pay advances and that is completely cash neutral for the employer. In terms of liquidity, we can provide employers with the ability to give their employees a true salary on demand with no effort, giving access to different cash balances, an ATM-like seamless experience, and even a card which has a balance that is updated daily with the earnings of the employees, and which can be used to pay for things straight away or to withdraw cash at an ATM. On top of that, we are giving employees the ability to save money with a gamified experience, with a motivational packaging that gives them improved financial health down the road. Also coupled with educational content, very easy to digest videos and tips and tricks to improve their personal finances, and allowing them to save money even by protecting their bank accounts from overdraft fees. So far, we've seen a very high level of engagement. We're servicing companies in most any vertical. 41% registered users from the total invited employees, with a 61% activity rate within the period of 3 months, and seeing 1.8 transactions per user per month. which are very, very high usage metrics. We launched in Spain in 2019. We are also available in Italy and Portugal. We're launching soon in Mexico and Colombia and planning further expansion in the south of Europe and Latin America for 2021. The co-founding team of Tips is formed by people that have been around for a while. Our co-founder, Carlos Blanco, is one of the largest investors and business angels in Spain. Myself and the rest of the team, we've been leading companies like Fintonic, Grupalia, iContainers, Wonga, or Captio, among others. We are backed by Encomenda, Bank Sabadell, and the ICF. And that's all I wanted to share with you today. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Jaime. Pleasure having you. For those that you don't know it, Jaime is kind of a legend here in the startup community. So it's a pleasure having you, Jaime. Thank you very much for your pitch. And judges, do we have any questions? Please raise your hands. See a couple of hands. See if we have any more there. Okay, Lucia, you're next, please.
Good afternoon, Jaime. Good afternoon, Jaime. Thank you very much for the presentation. I was wondering, who were your competitors and what would be your difference between them?
In Spain or across the globe?
Worldwide.
Worldwide. So we're competing with vertical players like ours. We have banks on one side. We have social benefits companies on the other side. We have payroll software companies also with us. So we have quite a wide spectrum of competitors. The core thing being that we are providing a benefit that sits across all of their services. So we are potentially a partner for all of them. At the same time, we're potentially competitors.
Always sitting in between. That's a tough spot. Okay, any other questions? I believe we had a bunch more. So, okay, Gonzalo, Faraday on, please patch through.
Thank you very much, Jaime, and congratulations for the initiative. Congratulations to Sabadell and Encomenda, of course, as well. I wanted to know your main revenue, I believe it's derived from monthly quotas from the companies that you use your service or that provide your platform to their employees. What is your current MRR and how has it been impacted by the pandemic? Well, current MRR, whatever you can answer in 30 seconds. Sorry.
So our business model is twofold. We get paid by the employers and we get paid by the employees on the transactions. We are migrating to a subscription-based model where we are grouping all of the financial health solutions you saw, liquidity, savings, education, open banking solutions like personal budgeting. So all in all, we have a very SaaS business model, but towards the B2C play where we are focusing. And in terms of MRR, we basically took away all the fees from our customers during COVID. So at the moment, it's down to 0.
Okay. Boom. Okay, Gabriel, thank you very much for your pitch, for joining us. Thank you for the questions, judges. Okay, and we're going to patch with and listen to our next pitch, flying all the way to the UK, to something that's quite, I think we don't talk enough about one of the biggest barriers in the financial industry, which is the fact, and I believe David had mentioned it before, is the fact that in most cases you need to be certified to operate within the field, right? And those that get the certifications actually kind of have a massive advantage. And precisely that, you know, licensed digital payments platform with the ability to seamlessly buy, hold, exchange, and spend multiple traditional and digital currencies is what we're going to hear next. So please welcome our next pitch, Jordy Sokolov, co-founder of Wirex.
Hi, I'm Georgi, co-founder of Wirex. Think of us as a challenger bank built on new rails. The idea we started with 5 years ago was to make it possible to buy coffee with Bitcoin, which was at the time virtually impossible. The industry has changed a lot since then, and so have we. Not just offering a prepaid card now, but a functional mobile banking app combining multi-currency accounts and a card with cryptocurrency wallets. Unlike most challenger banks, we're not just trying to marginally improve banking using the same legacy technology. We're using the benefits of blockchain to build a dramatically better offering. We aren't obsessed with the unicorn race, burning through millions of investor money. We're more of a fintech hedgehog, if you will, focused on responsible growth supported by diversified and profitable business model. We have over 3 million users worldwide and 300,000 cards issued in Europe and APAC with numerous happy client reviews, and it all is living proof that the product is working and is in demand. The main reason why the number of our cards is by far lower than the overall number of users is that we currently only issuing cards in Europe and several Asia-Pacific countries. But we're on track to launching cards in the US this year, followed by Canada and Japan, where we have long waiting lists. It isn't just user numbers that are growing, but all metrics, transaction numbers, volumes, revenues, etc. The best part about this growth is that it is profitable, even in the current challenging environment. Our main revenue generators are exchange and membership fees. We also get revenue share with card issuers and quite recently became the first company in the world dealing with crypto to be granted principal membership with MasterCard. This allows us to issue cards ourselves directly and will further increase our revenue base. Some figures to show our current scale: 3 billion processed via the platform to date, very healthy revenue growth, and quite a number of transactions happening during this 3-minute pitch. What makes us different from traditional neobanks is the opportunities of the blockchain technology and decentralized finance. What makes us stand out in the crypto space is the rock-solid approach to regulation. We're a licensed e-money institution with UK FCA and are obtaining similar licenses in every geography of operation, which not only secures our position in this heavily regulated space, but also creates high barriers for competitors. We're consistently winning awards, the most impactful one being the FinSum Startup Contest in Tokyo back in 2016, which led to our Series A funding from SBI, SoftBank Investments, which is the largest fintech investor in Japan. On the fundraising side, we also have a consistent track record. Crowdfunding seed round in 2015, then Series A with SBI in 2017, and now we're preparing for another crowdfunding campaign to give a marketing push to the new MasterCard launch and further accelerate our growth. Come join us as customers, investors, or partners. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Jordy. I said Georgie, guys, I'm gonna become multilingual here. So, judges, do we have any questions for Jordy? Raise your hand so we can see you. Michael, there we go. Go ahead, Michael.
Hey guys, hey Jordy, thanks for the time. I guess I'm curious, given you mentioned the unicorns and the hedgehogs, how have you been able to scale so cost efficiently?
We don't spend much on marketing. The wide majority of our growth has been organic. A lot of it is driven by customer referrals, well over 35–40%. Also, one tool we find very efficient in attracting new users to the space is CryptoBack, which effectively is cashback in that we pay in Bitcoin on any in-store transaction, and that incentivize people to come and join. So you don't have to know about crypto to start using it.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions? No questions about? Okay, no more questions. Okay, well, Jordy, thank you very much. Congratulations on the growth and the incredible track record that you guys have. I love the fact that you're trying to do this sustainable. We definitely need more sustainable companies as far as I'm respected. So thank you very much all. Thank you, judges. And we're going to now connect with, we're going to have a chat online with two very interesting speakers. So we're going to introduce Ben and Antoine in a second. So Ben Bemerel, he's the founder and managing partner of Vvva. And I love the definition of what Vvva does because he's a founder-friendly European VC, which comes to mind that a lot of European VCs might not be founder-friendly. I hope I'm wrong. But it makes sense because he's actually been a founder himself. He's done several startups. And so has Antoine. Actually, he sold his company before, but he also has extensive experience working with big corporations. So to chat about this, please welcome our next two speakers. How are you doing, Ben, Antoine? Stage is yours, and please be aware we do have limited time, so if you see me jumping around, it's because we're out of time. Go ahead.
Antoine, absolutely, you can kick it off. Yeah, okay, so I'm Antoine. and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Lemonway, which is a payment institution, European payment institution actually based in Paris, but with offices in Madrid, Milan, and in London, and very soon in Germany. So we are processing payments, and give you some numbers. We processed last year a little bit more than 3 billion euros of payments, and we do dedicate our service to marketplaces all over Europe. We are a 90 employees company, and we are a payment institution now for more than 7 years.
Good, and I'm Ben, so I'm one of the founders of Briga. Yes, I'm a founder myself, and Briga is a founder's fund. We got launched a little more than 5 years ago now, and we invest early stage across Europe. We have an investment team, an office in London, one in Paris, and pretty soon, hopefully, one in Spain. We have a couple of investments down in Iberia, one in Barcelona, 2 in Madrid, and 1 in Lisbon. So we kind of know the country very well. And I actually been in Barcelona in a couple of days for those of you who are around. We invested from pre-seed to Series A stage now, and probably a bit later stage by the end of the year. And we've been an early stage investor in Lemonway due to the fact that they haven't raised money pretty much before we backed these guys, and the idea was very much to sort of get to another scale and be able to help them grab Europe as a market, because we really believe there's a huge potential in helping them benefiting from our network and our entrepreneurial know-how. So Antoine, maybe if you want to spend a bit of time on what does it take? Well, what's the story between us, and how did we get in touch together first, and how did you choose Briga over a bunch of other investors?
Well, so Briga came in for our Series A, and we raised money a little bit late comparing with other startups. And when we met Briga, at the very beginning we were very enthusiastic regarding their entrepreneur-friendly attitude, with very high standard understandings of who we are, what are our stakes, and how to support, let's say, a small startup within a booming market. And that was at the very first what hit let's say hit us to move forward with Briga. Then we started to work with them, and we were, let's say, we were very surprised that they are fully committed, and fully committed in our not daily business, of course, because that's our matters, but they are fully committed in our strategy thinking, and they are very supportive on let's say, help us to scale and to scale faster, to focus more on what is the most important. So it was very helpful to have these, let's say, discussions and thinking with the Briga teams.
Yeah, and all right, it was a very unusual investment, to be fair. I think, as Antoine said, they've been very resilient and have been growing the business to a stage which you usually don't see at sort of Series A. I think they were much more advanced, which really convinced us as well. They already started having a European footprint, and they had a bunch of big clients in Spain. And at the point where we invested, they were starting opening up to Germany and the UK. And to us, it was a clear path. And that's what we try to bring to the table every time we invest. Is trying to respect the founders we back while challenge them in a positive way, because we think that's how people grow bigger and wiser. And to us, it's important that board meetings and discussions, right? Because with Antoine, we go to dinner once every now and then, and it's very much a relationship that we like taking out of the meeting rooms and making sure that we share the same vision for the business all together. And I think ultimately we know what it takes.
It actually helped us to drastically focus on our business, on the most important part of our business, we were at the beginning, we were having a large, well, we wanted to address a large part of our market. And then discussing with Ben and having this experience also on how to attack and how to better serve our market. Then we understood, with the help of Brega, we understood that it was much more efficient to focus on one single type of customers on our market. And this is why we dropped the e-commerce side to purely focus on the marketplace and financial marketplaces. That was several weeks and several months, I would say, of exchanges and discussions between Brega and us, and Brega bringing a lot of support in analyzing, in benchmarking, and bringing also some data from the market we were missing to have a better approach on our market. So I would say that we took maybe too long to raise. I would have met Ben maybe 2 years before.
Guys, Ben, Antoine, merci beaucoup. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was our pleasure. And hopefully next time you're here with me on the stage. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Ciao.
Ciao. Okay, so we're going back to talk payments, and to join me on stage, we're going to have now a sequence of 4 conversations. But to start with the larger conversation, I want to introduce our next guest on the stage. He's the head of global payment solutions for Vvva. So please welcome with me on stage Ignacio Bañón. Big applause. Thank you for being here, Ignacio.
Hey.
Pleasure. There you go.
How are you?
Super.
Good to see you.
Please join me here. So, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Good. So, we've been talking about payments before, and we were talking about a bit of the trends of how COVID and the pandemic is shifting or accelerating the trend. But I would love to hear your take from inside the bank, right? You're responsible for this. How are you guys experiencing this?
Yeah, for payments for quite a few years has been experiencing constant change. I would say every year has been changing faster than the previous year. Even I would say about revolution. But now, of course, this year everything is upside down. I would say COVID is acting as a huge accelerator in payments. Basically, the theme is transforming cash payments into digital payments. That was an ongoing trend, but now it's changing really, really fast, not only in the speed of adoption, but also in the depth of adoption. Digital payments is no longer something cool, something convenient. Now it's a must to survive, especially for SMEs, for businesses, right? And the bank is trying to cope with the crisis and adapt our solutions, our offerings to our customers, to our clients, to process this new way of people interacting and paying.
It kind of reminds me of when we used to talk about social media, right? And then suddenly social media was like, why are you talking about you having social media or sharing capabilities, right? That's part of the game. But it's interesting what you pointed out, because I'm getting this from a lot of, I'm guessing you're not fully technical, but you're in charge of the deployment and all these things. And from a product perspective, I'm seeing a lot of CTOs and a lot of people working with product that tells me, yes, it's accelerated, but it is also, as you said, it's touching on the depth of the product. We've had to change things because the regulation is changing, because the demands are changing. So how are you guys experiencing this from the inside? Have you had to really change part of the products or deploy new products very quickly?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, it's to some extent trends we had in mind. Now we have to deliver really, really soon. To offer a payments product digital first was something aspirational, let's say. Now it's something we have to deliver tomorrow to everyone. We don't want people to get into the physical contact as long as we can. So in payments, we try to help merchants sell more. Now we have to help them sell online, for instance, accept digital payments and transit to the e-commerce. This is a huge challenge for our clients, and of course a huge challenge for us to cope with this. And we are working in specific products, launching specific products to accept payment with low cost in many markets, especially in developing markets in the world. And also not only provide e-commerce solutions, payment solutions to our merchants, but also guide them to how to do the transitions from physical to e-commerce. And it's something we have to do, let's say, as we speak. We don't have time. The time is now.
I don't envy your job right now.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
So very quickly, if you could share one priority area for the bank, for BBVA, that you would love to collaborate with startups. What one, the one that comes to mind that you say, like, we need someone here to help us to partner up with, what would that be?
There's many of them, but if I have to choose one, it would be probably e-commerce.
E-commerce integration.
E-commerce is no longer something nice, something convenient. It's a must for consumers and especially for merchants.
Okay. Well, I'm getting signals here. Well, thank you very much. Stay here with me because you're going to be joined by the rest of the chat, and I think you guys all share some kind of similar perspective. So I want to welcome also, we have a couple of virtual connections, I believe. So hello, Michael. How are you doing? Jordy, you with me?
Hello.
Hello, guys. Yeah. Doing good?
Good, pleasure.
And now we have Amrita back with us. Hello, Amrita. So let me formally introduce all three of you. So we have Michael Tresco, partner at 8 Roads Venture out of London. We have Amrita Srivastava. Let me say this right. Okay, this one is hard. You keep making it hard for me. Srivastava, head of Fintech for Western Europe MasterCard. Amrita, thank you for joining. And last but not least, Jordi Pascual. Yours is easy, I'm afraid. He's e-commerce and acquiring payments director at Banco Sabadell. So Amrita, so you work at MasterCard. You're a huge company. You're kind of, in a way, like the pipes and the infrastructure that connects a lot of the financial world. So how can someone become a partner with you guys? Because I'm hearing a lot of startups that they've been certified by MasterCard, that we're working with MasterCard, right? It's starting to appear like the seal of excellence is working with you guys. So how do you achieve that?
Essentially, I think if you look at MasterCard, right, it's our ethos to always keep expanding the network, right? Our mission or mandate is to make sure that we are enabling payments and choice, giving consumers choice of how they'd like to pay in a safe and secure manner. And the stakeholders have evolved, right? We have traditional players, we have big tech companies, and we have fintechs across the payments value chain, disrupting and providing different things. So for us, as we look at expanding this network, digitizing the whole thing, for us, fintechs is just, it's not something new, it's just a part of the ethos of how we're going to keep doing that. So we've recognized that it's always been in our DNA. So when we talk about how do we work with them, we started small. We started with a accelerate program back in like 2014 called Start Path, which was really picking up these fintechs from across the globe, giving them our access to our network of 200 companies. And that program over the years has grown to like 250 startups. We've invested over 3 billion. That was kind of the first venturing into fintechs and working with the startup community. Since then, you'll see we've launched MasterCard Developers, which is giving tech companies access to our payments, data, and security services. Then we have the MasterCard Engage, I think is what you're referring to a little bit, which is where we are kind of building our role, right? Our role is to be the infrastructure, the connector, be at the core of the DNA and provide best-in-class services and connect those vendors there. And that's a MasterCard Engage program. And then this all comes under what we call FinTech Express. So I know you heard Wirex speak earlier, talking about how we help them go to market. And so really the idea behind FinTech Express is how can we help traditional, non-traditional customers partner with best-in-class technology and fintechs to help them get to market faster. And all of these 4 programs come under our MasterCard Accelerate program, which is accelerating for fintechs.
It's interesting because there's like this thread with a lot of these big organizations where you guys started working with startups and innovation some time ago, right? And now it feels that it's kind of paying off finally. You know, all those evangelists saying, we need to do startups. And you could hear like the rolling plant going there in the desert, like no one answering. So it's
I mean, I would like to think that maybe there was foresight when we did it. I mean, that's a lovely thought, but I think it comes to, it's an iterative and evolving proposition, right? And I think what all large organizations, and I know MasterCard does this really well, we have to keep our ears to the ground to understand what's going on, right? And that's how we learned. First, we learned, okay, we need to learn to speak the same language. Then we learned, oh, you know what? These tech startups actually want access to our data and insights. Okay, let's try and figure out how we do that. Oh, okay, MasterCard endorsement means something. Oh, they want us to enhance our processes. So it's been a learning curve for us as well. I would love to say that 6 years ago, someone had the vision, this is how it's going to chart out over the next decade. I'd love to take credit for that, but the reality is it has to keep evolving.
Hey, you need to say this, right? You get the money, and for everything else, MasterCard, right? Michael, this is, I know this is going to be a tough question, but as an investor, you have a lot of companies in your portfolio, and probably not all the companies are hurting the same during the pandemic. So what's the current status of your portfolio? How are your companies coping with the current situation?
Good question. It's pretty diverse. So, you know, we're fortunate enough, we have about 250 portfolio companies that are across the world, you know, anywhere from Japan to India to Europe to the US. So we have a pretty good macro view. And some of the companies have been hit earlier, like in China, and there was an opportunity in the portfolio to learn from each other. I would say, to answer your question, it really depends on the company and the sector exposure. Some are hurt a little bit because they are focused on sectors like travel or hospitality, which, as you can imagine, are not seeing as much activity, whereas others are doing really well because they are either in e-commerce or providing the underlying plumbing, like some of the payments company we've talked about. And as you can imagine, those are doing really well. And that creates sort of a nice balancing out, I would say, where as a whole, the portfolio is doing really well, considering that we are in a pretty difficult macroeconomic situation.
Jordy, now I'm with you. You're kind of like specialized also in e-commerce, and it's interesting because Ignacio was just referring a moment ago about, you know, the critical aspect of engaging the future of e-commerce and how the pandemic is accelerating that. So what is your take on that as a future innovation in that space, as someone that's literally working in that space for the bank?
Yeah, actually, the world of payment has been in constant innovation for many years. New players, regulations, new consumer payment habits, they are forcing us to evolve. Now, with the health crisis has caused by the COVID, that we have seen is that many traditional face-to-face small merchants, they have realized that they need a new way to interact and selling with their customers. And probably they don't want to create an e-commerce, or they don't want to have their own website, because that the industry has provided solutions like the payments by link, that it permits to pay in social networks, in WhatsApp, in Viber, or payments by SMS, or to pay by phone. The way to move this kind of merchants to the e-commerce, the remote to remote channels without to go to e-commerce. For me, that also I'm a specialist in face-to-face transaction. For me, it's really important the new role of the POS Android devices with cameras and with other technology devices. This kind of POS will permit to add apps for the company in addition to the traditional payment ones. And it's a new world that we will be open for the introduction of these apps through the POS in Android.
No facial recognition, please. No facial recognition, no biometrics. Don't go there. So, Jordy, very quick question to finalize this, because we're running out of time. When I think about e-commerce, and especially when we talked a moment ago in one of the previous chats about these kind of transactions that are happening inside apps, right, and under the umbrella of an app like WeChat or Alipay and all this stuff that's happening also in Asia. So I wonder, fiat currencies or digital currencies, are we going to see one versus the other one? Are we going to see digital currencies actually taking over certain transactions around e-commerce?
Yeah.
I love it's like, I need 3 minutes for this.
Yeah, good question. Yeah. The problem, obviously, digital currencies is a new future, is new possibilities. But at the end, we are a bank that the more small merchants or large merchants of Spain go through us. At the end, that they are looking for is for the currencies that they can manage for every day. And fiat currencies at this moment is the main necessity. Obviously, they are open to new things, but they are very cautelous. That they are have in mind that they are traditional merchants, that they are moving to the e-commerce, and because that his position is to see everything, but at this moment they are still with the fiat coins thinking about that.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Jordi, and we need to close this wonderful chat. So, Michael and Rita, Jordi, thank you so much for joining us digitally from all over. And Ignacio,
thanks,
absolutely a big pleasure having you on stage here. It's always good to see the heat. Thank you very much, guys. It was a pleasure. And now we're going back. We finished this fourth block. And we're going to step into the next one, which is going to be around Insurtech. And obviously, talking about Insurtech, we need to talk about Mutua Madrileña, who is one of the co-hosts of this track, and obviously one of the leading players in the country, and one of the leading players also in the world. So to talk about that, we're going to start moving again back to our startup competitions. Judges, you still with me? Startups, you're still with me, right? We're nearly there. We're nearly there. I'm just asking for an extra effort, and we can get there. Judges on this side also, still with me, right? Okay. Well, look at me. If I'm here and I'm not dying, you're much more comfortable than I am. So there you go. Anyway, so to talk about how to enable insurance providers to sell any insurance product online through any distribution partner, which there's this point about insurance and how you deliver insurance that is very critical and that is being directly attacked or improved by digital, right? And to talk about that, we were flying all the way to Denmark, which they've told me it's pretty warm nowadays. And to talk about that, let's welcome the head of sales, Esben Seifert from Pennyconnect.
Hello, my name is Esben Sørensen. I'm here to demo Pennyconnect. Penny.io is a company based in Copenhagen. We're a technology company. We offer a software as a service model. And our focus is entirely on online sales of insurance through distribution partners. What we're seeing in the market is that distribution partners, banks, motor dealerships are increasingly becoming more and more online, interacting with their customers through tablets, through websites, and through the phone. Then we're looking at insurance companies, and they're not entirely focused on online sales. So they do not have developed customer journeys to support partners in selling insurance online. And if we look at what they are doing in the insurance business, they're investing hugely in digitalization of claims, of service, but not into online sales. And here there is a gap. There's a gap where distribution partners like banks, motor unions, and so forth want to increase their sales online, and insurance companies are having trouble supporting them. And that gap means that both parties are missing out on a huge potential to sell insurance. Also, insurance companies risk losing partners because the online evolution is not stopping. So this demand from partners will increase. End of the day, insurers could risk being not selected by partners. We've built Pennyconnect. It's a software as a solution, as a service, sorry. It's placed as a middle layer on top of the insurance core system, so it does not need an IT project in the insurance company. We provide widgets, which is a customer journey, which we've built templates on that can be reused, white labeled, agnostic across all channels per product. We have a checkout flow, and we have a full CMS as you as a client can control what is being communicated, and you're not needed us on board to give you help. We used to be very much focused on the connected to insurers. This is becoming less and less because it's becoming more and more increasingly easy for insurers to be connected. So we focus more on embedding our products into the customer journey online. So we map out digital touch points where there could be an interest for sales. We focus on conversion and optimizing this. Our business model is an onboarding fee, a monthly fee, and a cut of first-year premium because we sell at the same price as offline channels. Been live since 2016. We work with the clients across the Nordics, France, and UK, mostly non-life, personal lines, and SME. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, Esben, thank you so much. I actually had the wonderful opportunity of reviewing this pitch, and I was really thoroughly impressed. So, judges, raise your hands if you have any questions. Carlos, I believe we have you. Go ahead, please.
Hello, good afternoon. A really good pitch. Thank you so much. Quick question. Do you also provide access to a network of distribution partners or only the technology itself?
We provide the technology, but we're increasingly on the market talking to both distribution partners and insurers, so our network is growing. So we have cases in the Nordics where we brought a distribution partner to a provider, but our focus is the technology.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Wow, Nordics efficiency. There you go. Any other questions? I believe we have Oscar. Go ahead, please.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for the pitch. I wanted to clarify, how does the integration process work, and how deep are you connected with internal systems of the insurance companies?
Preferably, the insurance companies have developed APIs for us to connect into, and then we redevelop those APIs to a smaller, simpler one for the customer journey. Some insurers still lack that development. We have a tech team who've worked on the insurance business the last 20 years, so we can work on existing web services and so forth, but we prefer obviously APIs.
Great startup, great numbers. So keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing really well. Okay, so we're moving to our next startup. Now we're flying all the way to India. And I don't know if you remember, we were talking about a startup before that provides the building blocks to create new products for the financial industry. Well, now we are going to have a similar experience, similar platform, but in this case, to help build the next generation of Insurtech products. So please welcome from India, Layak Singh, founder and CEO of Artibatic.
Hi, this is Layak. I'm a founder and CEO of Artibatic. Artibatic is trying to build insurance and health technology that can help billions to access affordable insurance and health platform. Artibatic was founded by me and my colleague Puneet Tandon in early 2017. Artibatic has built 6+ core products and 100 of API which can be utilized by the insurance businesses depending on their needs, customization, and how they can basically build new systems and technologies which serves the need of the customers, and also we can enhance their existing processes to become more intelligent. We have built technology from scratch and we also filed our patents in India and US. Other than me, my colleague Puneet Tandon has spent decades in US working with large technology companies. On the other side, Rajesh Lan, he's also advisor on board in Artibatic, who has been a CEO of PNU MetLife and Vvva. We have been a part of many accelerators, and we have a team of 40+ members based out of Bangalore, Mumbai, and Singapore. We work with many large customers in India and outside of India as well. We have clients like ICICI Prudential Life Insurance, Bajaj Allianz Life Insurance, which has a publicly listed large insurance companies in India having millions of customers with them. We have processed last year about 1 million policies to our technologies and tens of thousands of claims. We have reduced their fraud by 12%. We're able to save cost by 20%. We use self-learning technologies to help them out with the platforms. Artibatic is basically creating the low-cost technology by increasing the digital adoptions and enabling these businesses to become a large access markets. We are creating a unique-based risk assessment and instant decisioning approach, which creates efficiency, transparency, and low-cost products. We are helping them to building the powerful business models, enabling them to creating their growth, reducing cost, increasing ROI. In detail, if you look into what is Artibatic, so Artibatic is a full stack insurance technology platform, a conglomerate of 100+ APIs and 10+ products that you can use it as plug and play, as well as you can have the power to build new technology and solutions right away with the mix of APIs and technology platforms. These are the 6 core products that you can use it directly. These are the integrated systems that you can have it on the platforms where you can have with multiple APIs integrated in all these systems available. This is a platform that you can use it to see the 3 layers of Artibatic: API infrastructure layer, front-end distribution layer, and back infrastructure layer. That means that entire insurance, you will be able to build it on top of Artibatic. We are trying to basically create a unique and risk-based personalization platform than the traditional insurance to them, as the way the data is changing, environmental is changing, behavioral is changing on that side. So we're creating the unique and risk-based insurance platforms for the businesses to create. And we're creating this one service model to them, personalized and data risk assessment, end-to-end platforms, cost-effective and efficient. Thank you so much. We'll have to have further questions from you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Layek. Thank you very much. And I don't know if we have any questions, judges. Paula, ready? Go ahead.
Thank you, Layek, for the presentation. It was great. My question, I guess, was regarding your vision there in terms of, are you looking at creating an MGA or establishing yourself as an MGA or broker, or do you see yourselves more only on the kind of tech stack side and not jumping into the distribution side?
So basically, this platform that we have built is creating the back infrastructure. On top of that, you can create the new products, technologies on the side of the underwriting, claims, new products, micro insurance, bite-size insurance. And also you can use our front-end platform for the distribution as well. So this is basically combines from the time the policy acquisitions to the time you basically issue the policy, makes a claims assessment as well. So end-to-end API is available in the platform. Helps on the carriers as well as the distributor too.
Okay. Do we have any other questions, judges? Remember to raise your hand so we can locate you. Any other questions? No more questions. Okay, perfect. Layek, thank you so much for connecting all the way from India. I must say, I always say the same stuff. It's impressive, the scale of the Indian companies. I've worked with a couple now, and oh my God, you guys are amazing. So thank you very much for your pitch. Thank you very much for joining us. And thank you, judges, for your questions. And we're moving to our next block, and I want to welcome on stage a guest of Mutua, which I think the whole thing is beautiful, the fact that Mutua invited our next guest. So please welcome Ruben Gonzalez. He's the Digital Health Service Head at Adeslas. How are you doing,
Hello, Alex?
Ruben? Pleasure having you. Please join me. So, a bird told me that you're on the verge of launching a virtual care platform. With all the pandemic, I think it's very good timing, by the way. So can you tell me a little bit more about how you're structuring that?
Yeah, this is a big time for that, as you said. This means a strategic evolution of our value proposition. Our aim is to not only insure healthcare, but also supporting our clients in a proactive way to stay healthier. And we do that through promoting healthy lifestyles, preventing and managing diseases using virtual care. And we do that using three main pillars. The first one is assessment. We think that the first step is to be aware of your current health condition.
Basically tell them you're fat or not, right?
Yeah. We use inputs such as your nutrition, your healthy habits, your clinical parameters, or your hereditary factors, and we apply medical algorithms to calculate your health score and your health risks.
I was going to ask you, so you embedded AI inside of this, right?
Yeah, medical algorithms that use some sort of intelligence to calculate your health score, and then recommend you the plans and services that can help improving it. The second pillar is action. We encourage people to take a step forward and participate in virtual plans and services that can help them improving their nutrition, their physical activity, their sleep, also preventing and managing diseases such as hypertension or diabetes or cancer, which are very prevalent today. And we do that using both digital health and behavioral change techniques to improve engagement and efficiency in what we do. And the third pillar, Alex, is support, because many times we need help from healthcare professionals or medical orientation to make sure that we are taking the right steps. And we try to bring this professional closer to the customer, at the palm of their hand, if possible. We think that that's very soothing and convenient.
The psychological
exactly.
part, right?
Especially these days.
Yeah.
And so we launched video consultation, chat with healthcare professionals, and other virtual health services in order to assist our patients remotely. So that are, in my opinion, the three main pillars of our telemedicine platform. And of course, we think that we are at the very beginning of this long journey, and we'll need help. I think we'll need partners that share our vision and are strong performers in their areas. So I want to make a call for startups and innovative companies to come and share thoughts, share approaches, and hopefully welcome them on board.
So is this live already, or you're about to launch?
It's becoming live. So
as we speak.
Yeah.
Good to know.
So part of it is already live. We already do video consultation with our network of professionals. We do chat with healthcare professionals, etc. And we are launching this health promotion platform to help our customers to improve their scores.
Okay, then I'm going to stick with this. Ruben Gonzalez, make sure you find him because he's the guy that's going to connect you with the platform. Ruben, thank you very much for joining us here today. Thank you. It's good to see, again, humans. Thank you very much. Okay, and we're moving forward back again to our startups. And this time we're flying to South Africa on how do we brokerage digital P&C, car and household insurance. So please welcome our next startup, co-founder and CEO of CTRL Technologies, Peter Benter.
Hi, my name is Peter and we are Control. Let's start with a consumer story. This is Simbi, and she has a number of assets that she wants to insure, but getting more than one quote is not that simple. She could make an appointment to see a broker, and although she values his advice, she simply doesn't have the time to meet. Alternatively, she can call a call center and spend 40 minutes to answer underwriting questions and end up with a single quote. To get one more quote, she needs to call another call center, spend 40 minutes more, and answer the exact same questions. And now that she's got more than one quote, she realized that it's impossible to compare or to understand which one best suits her needs. There must be a better way. Introducing Control. Only enter your information once. Chat to your advisor the way you chat to your friends through mobile message. Get up to 8 quotes, where each quote is rated according to your unique needs. Compare them side by side and visualize the actual cover offered by each policy. Simply press Pick Me and a policy is live within seconds. Now she has an interactive version of her policy schedule to know exactly what she's covered for. She can even amend a policy. Claims and emergency assistance is only a click of a button away. This is Control, South Africa's first digital, independent car and household insurance advisor. Now, I'm sure you'll agree with me that that is a much better client experience. But what if we view this from the broker's perspective? And what if the client experience is just the tip of the iceberg? By rearranging workflows, we can help a brokerage to lower cost, create 24-hour availability, scale efficiently into other areas, and better manage risk and compliance, all at the same time. Let me explain how. In an independent brokerage, an agent will perform a range of tasks. But through the Control system, we have rearranged these tasks such that only the vitally important tasks remains with the agent, talking to the clients and talking to the underwriters, making him super efficient. On the client side, we offer a white label app with comprehensive self-service by the client, such as endorsements and annual renewals. On the advisor side, we offer a broker portal, which helps the agent to digitally interact with clients and insurers, giving him all the contextual information that he needs for every conversation and the tools required to perform a number of tasks. The server side contains all our automations, the recommendation algorithm, and many other features. So how can the Control system help you? Your success is our success, since our fees are structured on a pay-as-you-earn basis. Control was founded by myself, my 2 co-founders, Peter and Francois, with all long careers in financial services. We have a highly skilled team made up of specialists in the fields of technology, insurance, marketing, and finance. And we believe that it's the people and the passion for what they do that makes a company successful. So take control and digitally transform your brokerage in a matter of weeks, or start one from scratch and cross-sell to existing clients. Thank you.
There we go. Thank you very much, Peter. I have to say, and I know some people are going to be in pain, but Peter, your background is the most awesome of all. I'll just tell you that. Good investment on a background. So I appreciate that. Okay, judges, questions for Peter? No questions, Peter. You literally killed them. So, let's keep moving. So, we're going to fly back and stay here a little bit in Madrid for our next startup. And let me get my thingy here. So, I don't know if we've seen that some companies, some startups are focused on improving some parts of the value chain. In other cases, some of the startups are about creating a new niche from scratch. And that's exactly what our next startup is about, is being a digital native health insurance company from scratch. And wherever you go, they're going to be there to take care of you. And to talk about that, please welcome the co-founder, Albert Malagarriga from Elma.
Hi, I'm Albert, co-founder and head of product at Elma. Healthcare systems across the world have been put under severe stress in the last few months, but this has actually been going on for many years. We believe that the way that healthcare is organized, that society has decided to organize healthcare, is completely outdated. First of all, healthcare access is not patient-centric. We all have experiences of bouncing from one emergency room and one specialist to another permanently. Secondly, healthcare systems are completely collapsed. And if we take data from the Spanish healthcare system, waiting times are 30 to 90 days. And I'm actually being very nice here because there's surgeries that have to wait over a year. And finally, most healthcare systems are bankrupt. Inflation in healthcare is about 9% a year, and many healthcare systems cannot be sustained economically. What we're building is a new healthcare system as an insurance company that embraces digitalization to bring a very, very strong primary care and preventive care system that generates better healthcare outcomes for people and makes secondary care much more efficient to use. A bit more on the market. We operate in the Spanish market. There's 10 million people insured privately in Spain. That's about a 10 billion market cap, 20% of which are looking for a new insurance provider every year because they're not happy with their current solutions. 60% of the market is in B2B through employers and 40% is in B2C. What we have built is a new care experience where us as an insurance company deliver part of the care. So we provide a private doctor for all of our members who can have access from their homes and entirely remotely and can be funneled to secondary care if needed. These doctors also provide a lifelong prevention program to help our population remain healthy, because that's the best way to contain costs. And finally, a completely frictionless and digital experience, which HR managers and corporates really love. We are a challenger player, so we're challenging all of the incumbent players in the game of digitalization, just like neobanks did with banks. And the benefit of our model is essentially generating much more engagement, which brings down churn, and ultimately controlling costs through lowering loss ratio by delivering more efficient care. We have been growing over the period of the pandemic, which is a great sign for us. And we're ready for the last quarter of the year to hit our milestones for this year, where 90% of the B2B market is done. The best Spanish employers have already signed up for healthcare of the 21st century, as they see us as a great solution to fight COVID-19 and to offer a perk for their employees. And this company is co-founded by Miguel Anton and myself. We were both serial entrepreneurs, so we've been in the tech space for years. And we have a big engineering team led by Alex, a big sales team led by industry specialists, among which is Carlos, and a big operations team led by Maria, who comes from the medical space as well. Thank you very much.
Well, Albert, another of those startup entrepreneur legends, so pleasure having you, Albert, with us. That was a mic drop. Wow, what a pitch. Okay, judges, questions, please. Okay, Corinne, go ahead, please. Ask your question.
My main question is that you are directly kind of competing with traditional health insurer. So how are you going to compete with them knowing that they have, deep pocket to develop their own digital platform?
Yeah, in the same way that neobanks have competed with banks, right? Our core premise is that they're not good innovators. And that's something we believe because we've seen it. We had the opportunity at the beginning of working with insurers, and what we saw was like eternal pipelines of waiting time and so on. So we just decided to become the challenger. So we're just gonna get through it.
I love it because it's like, yeah, like everyone else, we challenge and we will see what happens. I'm actually a big believer on that and on the challenging aspect. People ignore you until they can't ignore you anymore. Okay, next question. Okay, Mina, go ahead, please. I said Nina, right? Nina.
Yes. Hey, thanks so much for the great pitch. I think to me it would be super interesting to hear your thoughts around how are you actually going to kind of like lower the cost of care and make sure that quality is really high, and kind of like telemedicine might be first step, but is there more kind of like on your product roadmap? What's in your pocket? What's to come there?
Yeah, so with regards to cost of care, there's essentially three important things that an insurer can do. The first is delivering part of care which is unnecessary. So avoiding the most expensive thing you can do for an insurance plan is going into an emergency room, aside from getting a surgery, of course. And a lot of those visits can be saved. So that's kind of point number one on telemedicine. Preventive care and long care plans is point number two, and routing to the appropriate doctor is point number three.
Okay, that was fantastic. Well, Nina, thank you very much for your question. Albert, thank you so much for joining us and your wonderful pitch. I'm, for once, definitely going to check you guys because big believer in this kind of challenging and pinpointing the inefficiencies, right, in the system. Okay, so we're moving to our next startup, staying again here in Spain, and tackling something that it honestly happened to me recently, and one of the judges is gonna laugh. But I was working with them, and they asked me, okay, do you have this insurance and this insurance and this insurance and this insurance? And I was like, I'm one person. I'm an SME. Why are you asking me for all these insurance things? I'm not a big company. And it feels that a lot of SMEs would definitely benefit from having more insurance coverage, but it's so hard, and it's so designed for other kind of big corporate clients that there's a mismatch there. Well, precisely to tackle that mismatch in less than 5 minutes, we have our next startup. So please welcome the CEO and co-founder, Rafael González, Singular Cover.
Hi, I'm Rafael González, CEO and co-founder of Singular Cover, an Insurtech specialized in small business insurance. The small business insurance market not only is poorly serviced, but in Southern Europe and LATAM alone is valued at anywhere between 40 and 60 billion euros. And why would such an attractive market be so poorly serviced? 3 reasons explain this disconnect between the offer and the supply. 1, insurance companies have high dependency on a physical distribution channel, that is brokers and agents. 2, insurance companies don't have incentives to digitize the model. It's a model that only represents 10% of the overall business income. And 3, there's no incentives for agents and brokers to specialize in a segment that is very fragmented and pay low commissions. So to capitalize on this opportunity, you need to digitize and automate the full value chain of a very inefficient model that is not suitable for SMEs. If you digitize the distribution side, so SMEs can have direct access to insurance products anywhere, anytime, in a fast, transparent, and easy way. If you digitize the underwriting side, so they can get the right coverage at the right price. And if you digitize and automate the service and claim side, so you can lower expense ratios, you now have a solution for SMEs that gives them a customized insurance protection at much lower cost to us and a better customer experience to them. And this is exactly what we're doing at Singular Cover. Just tell us who you are and what you do for a living. Let our algorithm calculate your risk, and under 3 minutes, you will walk away with a fully customized insurance policy for your business. But to make this model work, you need to deliver 2 things. 1, customer experience, and 2, higher gross margins. And this is how it works. If you're an SME, for every 100 euros that you pay your insurance company, 55 will cover claims. Around 17 will cover G&A expenses, salaries, rent, etc. And about 20 to 23 will go to commissions and marketing campaigns. And the remaining 5, if the insurance company is lucky, will go to profit. As a broker, you get to keep at most 15 to 20 euros. But if you own part of these processes and make them more efficient by automating them and digitizing them, you can keep as much as 40 to 45% as gross margin. And when you combine solid unit economics with solid traction, you now have the makings of a very solid company. In little over 12 months, we have acquired 2,200 SMEs in our portfolio, and are very close to hitting the €1 million mark in annualized premium. We're now prepared to bring in another 10,000 SMEs, build a fully functional servicing and claims platform, and test our first MVP in Latin America. We have a very strong team with diverse skill sets and backgrounds from insurance, banking, product, and digital marketing, combined with a very strong and diversified pool of investors, from corporate investors to VCs to public institutions. With this, we're very confident Singular Cover will become the leading SME insurance provider in our market. Give us a chance. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Rafa. That was, I'm in love with this project. I have to say, I love the tiny startups trying to compete with super hyper aggregated markets, fragmented markets, and trying to aggregate it. And the numbers are there, impressive metrics. So, judges, do we have any questions? Please raise your hand so we can tap you through. Oh, wow, that was fast. Okay, Silvia, you're in. Please ask your question.
Okay, thanks, Rafael, for the presentation. Quick question here. How are you hitting the SME space? I mean, sometimes the profile is low in terms of digitization. So what's your strategy to approach them? Thank you.
Yes, we have, thank you for the question. We have two main channels. One is online acquisition. Within online, 12 months ago, 95% of our acquisition came through paid advertisement. Today, 60% is pay-per-click and close to 30% is SEO. The remaining 10% is partnerships with other companies that work with SMEs. Okay? And the other channel is through brokers and agents who do not get a customer experience appropriate for this sector through the insurance companies. So they can just distribute our products through our own platform.
Okay, there we go. I believe we had, thank you very much. I believe we had another question, right? Okay, Lucia, you're next. Please ask your question. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for your presentation. You were mentioning you were present in America Latina, in Latin America. I was wondering, what is your international expansion plan? In which countries are you present? And which will be your next step?
We are not present in Latin America. We will be launching an MVP in Latin America, specifically Brazil, Mexico, and Colombia, who do have great insurance penetration compared to other markets, and where the SME represents 85% of the most economic sectors. Now, our plans are to continue developing through LATAM, maximize Spain. We've just started. We're very happy with our numbers. There's massive growth opportunity in Southern Europe.
Okay, Rafa, I need to, there you go. Thank you. I must say, and maybe they beat me here, but Rafa, you have balls, to be honest, to grow in LATAM with a hyper-fragmented market there, like Brazil, for example. I love it, to be honest, I love it. So thank you very much, Rafa, for your pitch. Thank you, judges, for your questions. And that was it. That was the last startup, I believe, of our segment, of our track today. So thank you all very much for being here. Thank you all for your questions. And for your patience, more importantly, for your patience, because I know this is hard. Then again, I'm still standing here. So thank you so much. And to keep moving, now we're going to step into the Mutua Madrileña segment. And I want to invite our next two guests on our stage. So please welcome Carmen del Campo, Innovation Director at Mutua Madrileña, and Sofia Taibo, Product Innovation Managers at Mutua Madrileña. There you go. Hello, ladies. Please take a seat.
How are you?
Very good. Thank you very much for joining me, joining us. So we're going to have an interesting conversation here, a lot of pieces going on. So I'll start with Carmen. So Mutua, as far as I know, and the experience shows me, because Mutua has been a partner of South Summit for many, many years now, you guys have been involved in a lot of innovation very early on, to be honest, and launching a lot of disruptive projects. So what can you tell us right now of what's in the pipeline? What kind of projects are you guys working with?
Well, we have several projects, but the main aim we have with our projects is delivering impact. As you were saying, Mutua is associated with innovation and with the brand of South Summit since I think like 10 years working directly on innovation.
We used to do South Summit at the Mutua building.
True, true. We were speaking about it previously. And the kind of projects we are trying to deliver is basically focused on our clients. So Mutua is really customer-centric, but it's customer-centric from the foundation, though this is not a new trend. And our projects are trying to deliver some competitive advantage to our clients. And today, we want to speak about one of them. That is what Sophia is going to explain. But basically, it's focused on how we personalize our products, how we understand what our customers are expecting from us, and to understand what kind of information are we having from our clients. Basically, what we have to do is to ask them, so what kind of data do you want to give us, and why? What I need to give you to have your satisfaction about what I am providing you.
Okay, so I think, Sophia, that's your cue here. So I believe this is a pretty big, financial planning project, I believe, that you launched this year, right? So how is that going? How do you...
Yes, well, as Carmen was explaining, our main goal is to personalize our offering regarding safety, well-being, and also finance. So finance-wise, we are developing right now a project based on a financial planner for customers. So what we are trying to do is to get their payments data, so we treat it and we give it back to the customers in an understandable way, so they can make better choices regarding their financial decisions. And also on the other side, of course, for Mutua it's easier to know more about the solvency of current and also new customers. And also we will be able to offer the services that the client needs, not the portfolio that we have. And of course, for the delivering of this service, we have our main partner, which is Constraint, which has a super easy-to-use interface and also other main features that will help our clients to make the decisions and manage their information regarding finance.
Well, guess what? We do have Constraint here with us. In a second, I'm going to introduce them. But before we move there, I would love to ask you a very quick question because, when you work with data and you start working with this kind of projects, there's certain aha moments where you suddenly go like, whoa, I had no idea about that. So have you guys had that kind of moment about your customers where you go like, whoa, have you seen this?
You want to answer?
I have. Well, yes, in the insurance sector, I think there are a lot of fraud. And with data, you can obtain a lot of information. And in fact, for example, when you are obtaining new customers and you are seeing what information you are getting, and for example, if you have some pictures about vehicles, these kind of things, so you don't think about the metadata, so what is behind the picture. And there is a lot of information, and it's amazing. So our colleagues from Chile, they are delivering really, really good models to obtain information about data. And there we are having some wow moments because the information is really good. And a good point about this project where I want to speak now is that this is an opportunity that has appeared with the legal framework. That is something that is not really common.
No, it is true. It kind of aligns very well with the new regulations.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's then introduce our next two speakers. So please welcome David Conder, CEO and co-founder at Constraint. David, thank you very much for joining us. And also joining Alex, I'm also Alejandro, so I know Alex Garay, who's the head of digital at Mutua Madrileña. Alex, pleasure having you too. Thank you very much for joining both. So I'm going to start with you, David. I always say the same stuff, okay? You can talk here, it's just me, okay? No one else is going to hear. But, corporates always say like, yeah, we get along well with startups. So what has been your experience working with Mutua?
I mean, yeah, obviously, well, first of all, thank you to Mutua Madrileña for inviting us to participate at this special South Summit. And saying that, I mean, working with Mutua, as you said, always is difficult to work with corporates because they have like a lot of bureaucracy that is very difficult to overcome. But from the beginning, Mutua was focused on giving something something new to their clients and very focused on the needs that they have, especially especially talking about financial planning, where always the corporates are offering, as Sofia said, the portfolio, and we have to change the focus on being more focused on the client, being able to detect with data, being able to detect what are their needs. And Mutua has very clear in its idea, and I think it was very easy to build a co-creation product around that.
Okay, now I'm going to throw you a curveball here. What have you seen from the inside that you go like, you know, here you have a lot of potential that you could exploit this by using more data or applying new algorithms. What have you seen that you could suggest them now that we have them here that could be the next thing they can work with?
Yeah, as you said, I think data is like a very powerful tool that most of the corporates are not taking full advantage of that. So I think being at the kitchen of a corporate, you are able to detect like needs or improvements that could be easily applied. So only touching like very few points. And I think data is one of the most powerful one. For sure, in the project that we are working with Mutua, we are going to take advantage of this data.
Okay, thank you very much. You were so polite. I love it. You have a good relationship here, clearly.
Yeah. We are at the beginning.
So there is a romance phase then. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Well, Alex, thank you very much, David. Alex, I'm with you now. I believe you guys have recently been working on deploying new channels to connect with the user, and you're a very user-centric company. So I would love to hear a little bit more about what kind of work are you guys doing and deploying with these channels, right? Like direct connection with the client.
Okay, hi everybody. Thanks for the invitation and introduction. As you say, we have just launched the WhatsApp as a brand new digital channel in Mutua. Mutua WhatsApp is assisted by ME. ME is our EA based on Google Cloud with client identity login, full capacity of end-to-end operative, and able to deliver customized response to any question related to client's product. ME is capable of managing up to 1,000 topics and approximately 30 personal questions or operatives. So this is the first project, I think, in our country that gathers together 3 technologies or platforms such as Google Cloud, Google Dialflow, WhatsApp, and in the next near future, we are going to connect with Salesforce, which will play a major role in the project, as we'll be able to transfer conversations to our marketing cloud and response directly to consumers via agents through WhatsApp. So this allows us to expose WhatsApp, as you probably see, in our digital channels, mostly our web, to 100% mobile traffic, digital traffic. No, we have managed over 2 million queries in this year. Wow. With a success ratio of approximately 90%. So this provides that the automation works in the majority of cases. We are very proud of this project, and we consider this new channel a proof of success and innovation inside of our digital transformation program. And this is a great demonstration of how we put our clients in the center of our strategy, as Carmen told you before.
So I was thinking, how much have you lowered the connection with your customer support, right? Because this kind of substitutes part of that conversation with your customer support service. So how much improvement have you seen in that space?
Well, we in the first stages, we are going to launch it without the connection with our call centers. ME, our IA, is going to answer all the questions. We have a pilot in December with the claims department, and in this case, if the question is very difficult, and the question is very difficult to ask by our EI, we will pass through the conversation to our agents, but we didn't start yet this project.
Okay, wow. I was just thinking, like, one day at the office, it's like, look what they typed on the virtual assistant, fire. There's always a potential for that when we're dealing with technology. One very, very quick question. When are we going to see a voice interface?
Well, we have it. We have it in Google Assistant, but our data says that we have less than 1% of the conversation in that channel. So we didn't decide to improve the project in that way.
Okay, clearly they don't have 3 kids like I have, where you don't have enough hands and voice becomes increasingly important. Okay, that was all. Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you very much, David. Thank you very much, Carmen. Thank you very much, Sofia. It was a pleasure having all 4 of you. I feel like at home here. So thank you very much. It was my pleasure, and thank you for sharing. Okay, so we're moving and nearly closing our track today with a big bang. I'm very, very honored to have this following conversation because I do a lot of research. I always say this, and a lot of these big companies kind of pop up in your radar, and you say like, oh, this is interesting. Well, I need to figure out and check what these guys are doing. And our next company is literally not small at all. They've raised, according to Crunchbase, which take with a grain of salt because sometimes it can be a lot more, sometimes it can be confusing. But according to Crunchbase, they've raised $206 million in investment, and they're literally killing it. So I want to welcome our next speaker, and he's incredible. He's had a massive background in bank acquisition, business development, legal and regional expansion efforts. He was for 10 years working at McKinsey and specifically working with savings and investment products for the EMEA countries. So please welcome our next channel and our next speaker, Dr. Tamas Georgiadze, co-founder and CEO of Racing. There we go. Tamas, Dr. Tamas, pleasure having you.
Yeah, great to be here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. You have a first row experience of what the pandemic is doing to the fintech industry, both because you see it through your company, but also because you do a lot of partnerships with a lot of other companies in the space. So what is your take? How is the pandemic, how is coronavirus affecting the financial industry?
I think the effect is still needs to be seen, to be honest. So we've seen a first wave, and in March and April, we've seen banks which are partnering with us the rates quite a lot because alternative wholesale funding became more expensive. And on the other side, we also see that effect receding through the summer, so that the rates go down again for the banks, and they are getting back to normal. So what we've seen is that actually they've been very fast in switching over to remote work, so that some of our largest banks haven't onboarded yet. We've onboarded fully remotely. So we've launched in the last month UniCredit with their German entity HVB. Klarna, we've launched first from the BPCA network on our platform. And these are very large banks where we would have that it takes them a bigger effort and there's a bit more restrictions when they work remotely. And it turned out it works out quite well.
So
what happens on balance sheet needs to be seen yet.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I mean, sometimes people go full steam ahead with the predictions, and we're still probably unfolding or seeing the unfolding of the effects and what's going to happen next, definitely. As someone, are you seeing like a change in behavior from your users? Do you see more people getting deposits, putting their savings, taking them out? Do you see strong changes in the trend there?
So that's interesting. Actually, people have been putting more money aside. So the effect of the crisis has been that there are state schemes which support employees, and at the same time, people were unable to spend the money. That's what we see overall in the market, that there is more cash at hand. At the same time, in March, April, when the virus spread was the fastest at this year, when we had a full lockdown, people had definitely other things to do than optimize their savings. so that we've seen a bit of receding activity, which has come back since then fully. So summer was very good, at least what concerns Raisin's core business and savings. And also capital markets have been rebounding. We have our robo-advisor solution in general.
And speaking of your experience, you guys do a lot of partnerships. So I was wondering, because there's a lot of other fintech companies that also have to go through that kind of partnership dancing. So what kind of tips or tricks could you share with them in terms of how do you nail those partnerships?
I think nailing is the smaller challenge than making them successful. So we have in total 150 active partnerships, and you name them from very large insurance companies towards neobanks, so N26 and Monisa. So partners, we work with incumbent banks like Commerzbank, or with the savings banks in Germany, and we work with large fintech players like Klarna. And the experience has been that there are, I would say, 3 key success factors, of which you need to put very transparent in front of the partner as well. First thing is being clear what you are aiming at and what the objectives are, and being very explicit about it. So what's the success, what is not? Because sometimes partners have different topics in mind. If there is a large bank where the business will not be relevant in the years to come anyways, they would sometimes see it as a testing ground, which is, of course, for a fintech, which is rather more in the fundraise and building up cash flow mode, is a bit disappointing. But being transparent about that and saying what actually each party awaits from another is very, very important. The second one is, as a fintech founder, you are in a smaller company. I mean, we have 350 employees, so that it's manageable, and the attention of C-level is guaranteed by design. In many bigger places, actually, you need to create this focus and attention of the MD or C-level, ideally, where people not only track to the project towards the launch, but also after. And this is what we see, because once the PR news is out, sometimes the attention span is also too short, and it breaks up. And then if there is no top management attention, also not on the other side. And the third one is agility and ability to adjust the partnership, because what we've seen, the initial idea doesn't work out in many cases. So that you need to develop and to refine the partnership, the use case, the marketing approach with the partner, so that at the end, being communication and being able to find the next level, define the changes, that's essential, because the initial ideas really work.
Okay, well, wow, that was impressive. Thank you so much for your insights. It's not very usual that you have first row experience and having someone with your track record and what your company has achieved sharing these tips. So I deeply appreciate. I think everyone in the audience is also going to appreciate that. Well, thank you very much for your time, Dr. Tammes. It's been a pleasure. Dankeschön, vielen Dank for
Thanks
your...
a lot. And PTM was not in Madrid this time.
Well, don't worry.
Next year again, hope.
We will make it happen. Beers are on me. Well, wine's here. Thank you very much. Okay. So, and that's it, guys. We made it. You have to look at my colleagues on the other side. This was a long track, but we made it. I hope everyone enjoyed all the content we put, all the startups that we had. It was absolute pleasure being here. Remember that you can still tune in into the parallel tracks that we're emitting, the travel and tourism and consumer trends. Another reminder, in the afternoon, we're still putting the prime time. You're gonna see the big talks there, so make sure you tune in also for that one. And last reminder is that the winner of the Fintech and the Insurtech will be announced also in the afternoon. So, as they say, that's all, folks. It was my pleasure sharing this space with you, and we're done. Enjoy the rest of the conference. See you next year.